In the quiet between creation and collapse, there are destinies that never stepped into light, fractures of time where a single heartbeat changes the color of eternity. In one such forgotten thread of existence, Goku stood at the threshold between mortality and celestial purpose. His ki flickered like a lantern in a storm, but beneath its warmth slept the brilliance the cosmos itself had once whispered about, a golden instinct beyond instinct, a glow neither divine nor mortal, something born from a soul that refused to be measured. It was here, in this hidden corridor of fate, that an event impossible in any known timeline unfolded. Not a battle, not a test, but an execution. 100 angels descending in perfect silence, wings folded like blades of starlight, sent to erase a warrior whose potential frightened even their makers. And in the instant their halos ignited, Goku felt something ancient awaken inside him. Light, fire, serenity, fury, destiny, all folding together like the birth of a small sun. What emerged would be spoken of only in secret by the stars. Golden Instinct 3. Before we step into this divergent destiny, this echo of a Goku who dared to shine brighter than the heavens, take a moment to join the journey. Stories fade when left alone in the void, but together we keep every timeline alive. The Destroyer realm slept beneath an ocean of purple dusk, its air humming with the low, ancient vibration of dormant power. Here, where even light seemed to move with caution, Goku stood alone upon a floating slab of obsidian rock, eyes closed, breathing slow, listening to the universe as if it were a living thing whispering through his veins. He had come here seeking silence, hoping to sharpen ultra instinct beyond the fleeting brilliance he had tasted in battle. But what he found instead was calm, too calm, a stillness so profound it felt borrowed, as though it did not belong to this place. For the first time in years, Goku wasn't chasing strength, he was trying to understand it. His silver aura flickered once, then fell quiet, settling around him like mist. He exhaled softly. "It's strange," he murmured to no one. "Feels like something's waiting." The realm answered not with sound, but with sensation, a faint pressure behind the atmosphere, like an unseen gaze running its fingers across reality. It did not feel malicious, it felt curious, expectant, as though the cosmos itself was leaning closer, wondering if the spark inside this Saiyan might finally ignite into something it had not seen before. Beerus watched from the distance, perched lazily atop a broken monolith, golden eyes half-lidded but sharp. Even his whiskers twitched with unease. "He's too quiet," the Destroyer muttered. "Every time that Saiyan gets quiet, the universe ends up regretting it." Whis stood beside him, staff in hand, expression unreadable. "Perhaps," he said lightly, "or perhaps he's finally learning the value of stillness." Beerus scoffed. "Stillness? That oaf hasn't been still a day in his life." Whis smiled, faint and knowing. "You underestimate him, Lord Beerus. When mortals approach transcendence, it often begins with silence." But Whis's eyes betrayed a different truth, a narrow tension hidden beneath serenity. He felt it too, something unaccounted for, something pulling at the seams of celestial order. Goku opened his eyes. The Destroyer realm dimmed. For a heartbeat, it was as though the light that filled the world had been drawn inward, swallowed by the glow awakening behind Goku's gaze. Not silver, not yet. Something softer, warmer, a flicker of gold weaving through the edges of his pupils. Beerus shot to his feet. "Whis, what is that?" Whis did not answer. His grip tightened around his staff. Then, without warning, the sky cracked. No thunder, no sound, just a split across the heavens like a blade sliding through silk. Goku turned his head slowly, as though waking from a dream. The crack widened, spilling out a radiance far too pure, far too structured to be mortal ki. The air shuddered as halos, perfect, luminous rings, drifted through the fissure one by one, each followed by a figure descending with chilling grace. Not one angel, not two, dozens. Their wings folded like liquid starlight. Their staffs glowed with celestial white. Their expressions were masks of tranquil inevitability. Whis whispered the unthinkable. This should not be possible. Beerus staggered backward. Why are there so many? Angels never gather. Never, unless... His voice died. Goku stared upward with a mixture of awe and confusion as 100 halos drifted into formation above him, forming a radiant circle that spanned the horizon. Their combined divinity weighed upon the realm like a mountain of light. Reality trembled beneath it. Their leader stepped forward, halo burning brighter than the others. His voice flowed like sacred wind. Son Goku, in this timeline, your evolution threatens the balance of all things. You are to be erased, not for what you have done, but for what you may become. Goku felt something inside him break, not from fear, but from clarity. He sensed no hatred in them, no anger, only certainty, as if his death had already been written into the laws of creation. He tightened his fists. That's not right. I don't know what I'm supposed to become, but I can't let you decide that for me. The angels raised their staves in perfect synchrony.
Light gathered. The air hummed like the inhale of a god. Goku took a single step forward, and the first halo ignited. The realm turned white. The white was not empty. It was layered, like countless veils of divinity dropped at once, overlapping, choking every color from existence. For a moment, even Goku forgot what his body felt like. There was only pressure, luminous and absolute, pinning his consciousness to a single point. Then the pain arrived, not as burning, not as tearing, but as erasure. As though every memory that made him who he was being gently, clinically brushed away. He roared. The sound ripped through the radiance, carving out a small, trembling pocket of space around him. Muscles remembered themselves, bones screamed back to life. His aura exploded, tearing cracks into the shroud of angelic light. Blue ki surged from him like a breaking tide, streaked with white. Super Saiyan Blue flared in a defiant blaze, his hair igniting with azure fire as silver sparks danced at its edges. Goku hunched, breath ragged, sweat rolling down his temples. The angels watched. One spoke, voice soft and echoing. Resistance was expected. Another added, but ultimately irrelevant. They moved. There was no warning, no sound, no shift in the wind. One instant they were still, the next they were upon him. A staff struck his guard with a soundless impact that nonetheless sent shockwaves tearing through the distant debris of the realm. Another blow kissed his ribs from behind, a whisper-light touch that nonetheless folded his lungs, stealing air and sound. Goku's body moved faster than thought, instinct guiding him as he blocked, twisted, vanished, reappeared. Ultra instinct brushed against him, a familiar, elusive presence. His pupils sharpened, his motions smoother, more fluid, each dodge almost beautiful in its inevitability. But it wasn't enough. This wasn't Jiren, this wasn't Moro, this wasn't gasping, desperate survival against a single, overwhelming force. This was mathematics. 100 perfect beings moving with the precision of a cosmic equation. Every angle covered, every escape predicted, every breath stolen before he could draw it. A fist struck his back, a staff clipped his temple. Radiant feathers of energy sliced across his chest, leaving searing trails of light that did not bleed, but erased. He crashed into a blackened spire, the stone disintegrating like dust under the weight of his impact. Goku coughed, tasting iron and light, the edges of his vision swimming. High above, the circle of halos shifted, rotating with slow, terrible grace. On the distant monolith, Beerus was shaking. Not from cowardice, but from recognition. "I can't even see half of their movements," the destroyer whispered. If they decide to erase me too—" "They won't," Whis said.
though there was a tremor there he had never known before. This judgment is focused, singular. They have come only for him. Beerus's eyes flared. Then stop them! I cannot, Whis' voice tightened. We are bound. When higher edicts are invoked, an angel's will is no longer their own. Yet Whis' gaze never left Goku, like a witness watching a rare, tragic miracle. Back on the shattered plateau, Goku rose again. Every fiber of his being screamed that this was hopeless, that the calculus of power was against him, that no combination of forms, no clever strategy, no last-minute surge would allow him to overcome 100 angels. Even if he mastered Ultra Instinct perfectly, even if he drank every godly technique like water, this was beyond him. And yet, as he staggered upright, knees trembling, he felt it again. That presence, that warmth. Not outside, inside. At first he had thought it was just the remnants of Whis' training, a memory of divine ki. But now, surrounded by such overwhelming celestial order, he realized how different it felt. Ultra Instinct had always asked him to let go. This presence did not ask him to release anything. It asked him to hold on to everything.
To his love for his family, to his rivalry with Vegeta, to the villages he'd saved, the enemies he'd forgiven, the laughter shared over simple meals, to the times he lost, to the times he broke, to the times he chose to stand back up. It was warmth. And somewhere deep in his being, a faint, golden thread tightened. The lead angel extended his hand. Son Goku, you have surpassed the path allotted to mortals. Your existence is now a variable threatening all equations. We do not hate you, we do not fear you, but the balance demands your end. Goku straightened slowly, blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. His blue aura dimmed, then flared again, refusing to yield. Maybe I don't understand your balance. I'm just a fighter. I just get stronger. I meet stronger people. I push myself. I protect the ones I care about. If that scares you, then that's your problem. The smallest shift moved through the ranks of angels, almost imperceptible, a flicker of something dangerously close to curiosity. Whis' eyes widened, because he felt it too. Goku's ki was changing. It wasn't growing in volume. It wasn't rising like a simple surge. It was refining, compressing, becoming clear, like metal heated until impurity burned away. His blue form's sharp edges softened, threads of pale white shimmering through the azure as if a higher light were seeping in from beneath. And at the very center, beneath godly technique, beneath Saiyan biology, something glowed faintly gold. The lead angel's halo brightened. Enough. Initiate second vector. Remove unnecessary structure. The world shifted. Gravity inverted. Space folded. A lattice of radiant lines appeared across the sky, forming a geometric prison that locked around Goku like a three-dimensional seal. Every motion he made dragged against invisible resistance, as if he were wading through solidified time. One angel stepped forward, staff pointed directly at his heart. From its tip, a glow emerged, cold, silent, merciless. Goku felt it. Erasure. Not the explosion of Hakai, not the tearing of raw destruction. This was cleaner. This was a soft hand closing a book forever. He couldn't dodge. He couldn't block. He couldn't overpower it. He closed his eyes. And in the darkness behind his lids, he saw them all. Gohan, smiling nervously the day he first trained. Goten running into his arms with unrestrained joy. Chi-Chi furious and terrified, loving him more than her fear. Vegeta standing proud beside him, not as an enemy, not as a rival, but something even deeper, someone who understood him. The warmth inside his chest flared. The beam of erasure fired. It crossed the distance between them in less than a thought. And just before it touched him, the faint golden thread inside his soul snapped taut and blazed, as if some ancient part of the cosmos had decided in that single instant that it would not let him vanish. The seal of light around him shattered like fragile glass. The realm gasped. Goku opened his eyes. They were beginning to glow. Not silver, not yet. A molten, embryonic gold, like a newborn star trying to remember how to burn. The erasure beam met that glow.
Not deflected, not broken. Bent. Curved around him like light skimming the surface of an event horizon. Its perfect trajectory warped by something radiating from within Goku's heart. The angels collectively stepped back, halos flickering. The equations they were bound to, divine logic, cosmic arithmetic, momentarily lost form around this impossible deviation. Goku's breath deepened. His aura did not explode outward. It folded inward, tightening around him like a cocoon of shifting white and faint golden pressure. The edges of his hair flickered between blue and silver, then between silver and gold, as if two truths were fighting to occupy the same space. The lead angel lowered his staff a fraction, eyes narrowing. This is anomalous. We anticipated further mastery of Ultra Instinct, but this defies pre-written outcomes. Whis swallowed hard. He's not slipping into Ultra Instinct. He's merging something. But with what? Beerus took several steps back. Don't ask me, you're the angel! What is he doing? Whis didn't answer, because he genuinely did not know. And that terrified him. Below them, Goku's fists trembled, but not from pain, from evolution, from something awakening in him that felt older than instinct, older than technique, something that wasn't calm or detached, something that was warm, alive. A second angel descended, staff raised. Proceed with simultaneous vectors. All 100. Synchronize. Their halos blazed brighter, forming a radiant dome above Goku like a descending sun. Their combined pressure crushed mountains, folded oceans of purple flame, and warped the very texture of the destroyer realm. Even Beerus, a god who feared nothing, braced himself against the overwhelming force. The angels moved in perfect unison. 100 beams of erasure fell as one. Goku's golden glow pulsed. The impact tore through the realm in silence. Silent because sound could not survive within that much divinity. The landscape collapsed into dust. Crystals shattered. The sky cracked in lines of white. Whis and Beerus shielded themselves behind layers of protective barriers. Inside the storm of light, Goku staggered. The beams were pushing through. Against his skin, the erasure felt like a cold hand trying to lift him from his own life. His arms shook violently, his vision blurred, his knees buckled. He screamed, raw, primal, born not from fear, but from refusal. The golden thread inside him burst like wildfire. In an instant, hundreds of memories ignited, not as images, but as sensations that lived within him deeper than breath. Gohan hugging him after Cell. Goten's tiny hand gripping his thumb, Chi-Chi's voice breaking when he came back from Otherworld. Vegeta standing beside him during the Tournament of Power, for the first time carrying not rivalry but respect. Piccolo's steady nods during training, Krillin's laughter. Even the faces of enemies he had forgiven. Frieza, Moro, Granola, flickered through him like burning lanterns. All the bonds he had made, all the bonds he had lost, all the pain he had survived. All the kindness he had learned. His ki ignited with a warmth that transcended form and technique. I'm not going anywhere! The beams hit his heart and shattered. The eraser attack split apart like glass struck by a sunbeam, breaking into streams of light that scattered harmlessly into the void. The angels froze, halo glow stuttering like candles struck by a gust of impossible wind. Goku stood tall, not restored, not healed, but transformed. His blue aura vanished entirely. In its place rose a thin, radiant veil of white, shot through with threads of shimmering gold. His hair shifted, the blue burned away, replaced by white, touched at the tips with golden fire. His muscles tightened, not bulking, but refining, sculpted by purpose rather than rage. His eyes opened. And for the first time the angels stepped back. For within those eyes was not the silver of ultra instinct. It was something gentler, warmer. Molten gold, glowing like an angel's halo, but burning with a human soul. Beerus fell to his knees. Whis whispered, "Impossible. No mortal should be able to manifest angelic resonance." Goku didn't know what the form was, didn't know what to call it, didn't know what it meant. He only knew that in this moment, this instant stretched thin between destruction and destiny, he had touched something that didn't feel borrowed from gods or angels. It felt like something unlocked within himself. He took a single step forward. Space trembled. 100 angels raised their staffs in panic. Goku's aura flickered brighter. And for a heartbeat, all of creation seemed to realize that it was witnessing the earliest spark of something impossible. Golden instinct. But not yet complete, not yet awakened. What came next would decide everything. The angels reacted first, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with calculation, rapid divine mathematics unfolding behind their still porcelain expressions. They adjusted their geometry, shifting positions in the sky like pieces of a celestial clock snapping into a new configuration. Their halos brightened in synchronized pulses, resonating like the heartbeat of something mechanical and ancient. But beneath that perfect rhythm, something else flickered. Uncertainty. A concept angels were never meant to feel. Goku took another step. The motion was simple, almost gentle, but space rippled around his footfall as though the universe bowed to its pressure. His aura shimmered, not raging, not roaring, flowing. The white core brightened, the golden strands weaving together like the beginnings of a pattern the cosmos itself had forgotten how to read. The lead angel lifted his staff sharply. "All units, restrict the anomaly. This mortal is creating a resonance beyond permissible limits." His voice remained calm, serene, utterly detached, but a thin crack ran through his halo, spiderwebbing outward before repairing itself. Even self-perfecting divinity struggled in the presence of Goku's awakening. The angels descended, 100 halos leaving trails of pure white fire as they fell toward him. Their staffs spun, leaving arcs that sliced through dimensions. Their feet touched nothing, yet the air quaked beneath their weightless steps. Every motion was a miracle, a prayer, a law of the universe enacted through physical form. Goku raised one hand, not to block, just to breathe. His fingers curled slightly. And the world slowed. Not for him, for everything else. The angels' descent became viscous, as if time were thickening around them, resisting their divine precision. Their halos dimmed in flickers, unable to maintain constant luminescence under the pressure radiating from Goku's golden white aura. Whis' mouth fell slightly open. "My goodness."
Beerus looked at him sharply. "What? What is he doing now?" Whis' voice dropped to a whisper, reverent and afraid. "He is unintentionally disrupting angelic flow, not through power, Lord Beerus, but through harmony." "Harmony? Since when is that a weapon?" "It isn't," Whis replied, eyes wide, "and that is why they cannot predict it. Because the angels were born of order, but Goku was born of choice." Below, the angels struck in unison, their staffs weaving geometric cages of light meant to compress, contain, and silence. The air folded around the patterns, forming a 3-layered prison that tightened like a lattice of heavenly glass. Goku moved. Just once. A shift of his torso, a turn of his wrist, a breath. The entire structure shattered, dissolving into dust-like motes of celestial light. Several angels paused mid-strike, confused.
They had crafted a seal that should have bound a destroyer, a Kaioshin, even an imperfectly guarded angel, but Goku broke it the way a breeze breaks morning fog. And his aura grew brighter. The gold deepened, turning richer, more molten, as though the emotion inside him were heating it from within. Memories surged again, not in desperate flashes, but in calm waves. Piccolo's quiet mentorship, Master Roshi's teachings, Vegeta's rivalry, Bulma's kindness, Krillin's loyalty, Gohan's hope, Chi-Chi's fierce love. All the connections that made him human. All the burdens that made him mortal. All the bonds that tied him to the world he refused to abandon. His spirit glowed like a lantern filled with the warmth of 1,000 shared moments. Another angel appeared behind him, staff slicing downward in a perfect arc. Goku didn't turn. He simply raised his hand and caught the staff between his fingers. The angel froze. For the first time since its birth, the divine metal trembled. "Impossible!" the angel breathed. Goku looked over his shoulder, golden light flickering in his eyes. His voice was soft, almost apologetic. "I don't want to fight you, but I'm not letting you erase me. I can't." The angel jerked back, withdrawing instantly, visibly shaken. Above, the lead angel made a decisive gesture. "Recalibrate. If necessary, deploy erasure through total convergence. He must not evolve further." Goku frowned, breath steady. He didn't understand their words, but he felt their intent. They were afraid. Not for themselves, not for the universe, but of what he might become if pushed. He sensed the angels gathering power again, forming a tighter circle, their halos glowing with increasing urgency. The air hummed like a divine storm preparing to break. And then, Goku's aura expanded. Not with force, with inevitability. White and gold spiraled upward, threading into the cracked sky. His hair brightened, the gold tips spreading like sunrise through snow. His eyes simmered with a soft radiance, no longer struggling to emerge, but accepting what they were becoming. Something inside him whispered, "Not yet complete, but close. So close." The angels braced, staffs raised, halos trembling. Goku inhaled slowly, and the universe inhaled with him. The next breath would change everything. The destroyer realm held its breath. Even the drifting ash of shattered mountains paused mid-air, suspended in the shimmering twilight between creation and collapse. Goku's aura pulsed softly, quietly, like a heartbeat felt through warm hands. Nothing about it was violent. Nothing about it resembled the explosive power he once wielded as a Super Saiyan. Yet every angel in the sky instinctively tightened their stance. Because this light, this warmth, should not exist. Not in mortals, not in gods, not in angels, not in any being bound to the tree of creation. It was something else, something older, something free. Goku closed his eyes, the golden white glow wrapping around him like a second skin. He didn't float, he didn't ascend, he simply stood, but the ground beneath his feet softened, dark stone turning to pale dust, as if reverently bowing beneath the weight of his transformation. Above him, the lead angel lifted both hands. "Prepare for final vector alignment. This anomaly cannot be allowed to stabilize." The gathering of halos tightened. Their brilliance sharpened. 100 divine signatures overlapping into a single luminous geometry.
a design older than divine titles, older than universes. Whis recognized it instantly, his breath caught in his throat. Lord Beerus, they're forming the original lattice. Beerus paled. Is that bad? Whis nodded slowly, once. It has only been used twice in all of history, both times to silence entities that should have never existed. Beerus swallowed hard. Goku isn't an entity? No, Whis said softly. He is something far more unpredictable. The angels extended their staffs. Space folded inward, spiraling toward Goku like a great tightening net. Time trembled, light fractured. Every dimension in this realm drew taut, stretched toward a point that centered upon the Saiyans standing quietly in the dust. Goku's eyelids fluttered. He heard something. Not the angels, not the realm. Something within. A steady hum, low and warm, like a lullaby sung across eternity. It vibrated through his bones, through his heart, through the small, fragile memories that defined his humanity. It reminded him of Chi-Chi's voice calling him home after a long day of training, of the soft clatter of bowls at dinner, of Goten's laughter echoing through the house, of Gohan's hesitant courage stepping forward when he was young, of Vegeta's determined stare. It reminded him what he was protecting. It reminded him why he refused to fall. His aura brightened.
The white deepened into pure brilliance. The golden threads multiplied. His hair shifted again, white base glowing with expanding arcs of gold, as if flame and moonlight were learning to blend. The angels unleashed the original lattice. It descended like a collapsing sun. Spheres of divine erasure wove into spiraling patterns, converging on Goku from every angle, front, back, above, below, within. It was not a strike. It was an extinction, a rewriting of the page where Goku's existence was written. Beerus braced. Whis tightened his grip on his staff until his knuckles turned pale. The lattice reached Goku and folded. Not shattered, not reflected, not resisted. Folded. As if the reality around him changed the rules the moment divine law tried to touch him. The lattice bent, its geometry warping like molten gold, trying to hold shape in the palms of trembling hands. It compacted inward, compressing into a single point before dissolving into motes of soft light that drifted harmlessly into the darkness. Several angels staggered. One dropped to one knee, clutching his chest where his halo flickered. The lead angel stared at Goku with something dangerously close to horror. He is assimilating the resonance, absorbing the forbidden frequencies. Whis whispered faintly. He is merging instinct and emotion, divine harmony and mortal will. Vegeta would have scoffed. Gohan would have cried. Chi-Chi would have screamed at him for going too far. But Goku simply opened his eyes. Twin pools of molten, luminous gold stared back at the heavens. No rage, no fear, no detachment, just calm, warm resolve. Please stop, Goku said softly. I don't want to hurt you. Every angel in the circle stepped back. Every halo flickered, because the tone of his voice, gentle, compassionate, unyielding, felt impossibly familiar. The lead angel's expression finally cracked. Who Or what are you becoming? Goku lowered his hand. I don't know, he said. But I'm not done yet. His aura surged, white roaring into gold, gold burning into white, both coiling together like twin dragons around his form. The sky fractured, the realm shook, and for the first time, an angel whispered the words no angel should ever speak. Retreat formation. But it was too late. Goku stepped forward, and the entire realm lit up with golden fire. The golden fire did not burn. It radiated. A warmth that spread through the destroyer realm like dawn breaking across a world that had forgotten sunrise, where the light touched, shattered stone knitted back together, cracks in the sky softened, even the drifting ashes of erased matter shimmered as if remembering they once belonged to something alive. The angels were not accustomed to warmth. Their existence was cold perfection, serene duty, untouched by the tender gravity that guided mortal hearts. And so as that warmth reached them, their halos flickered, not weakening, but wavering, like pristine silver chimes shaken by a wind they did not understand. The lead angel lifted his staff, snapping the divine order back into place. Synchronize, full convergence. A single command, 100 wills obeying, instantly. The sky realigned, halos blazed pure white, staffs hummed with celestial resonance, their wings spread in fractal patterns, forming a colossal tapestry of divine geometry, the kind mortals glimpsed only in near-death visions, and God spoke of only in whispers. The angels moved as one, and the universe quivered. Goku steadied his breath. The golden white aura around him rippled softly, more like a spirit exhaling than a warrior powering up. His eyes, those newborn halos of molten gold, absorbed every detail, the symmetry of the angels, the weight of their intent, the faint, trembling fear they tried so hard to hide. He didn't blame them. Even he didn't know what he was becoming. But he knew this. He couldn't falter. Not here. Not now. The angels vanished. They reappeared in the same instant, 100 spears of white light thrusting toward him, each strike designed not to kill, but to erase the possibility of who he might become. A staff swept toward Goku's side, aimed with microscopic precision. He turned. The blow passed harmlessly through a fading after-image. Another angelic strike hammered toward his spine. He stepped sideways, the motion smooth, fluid, instinctive, but warm. Not the cold perfection of Ultra Instinct, but something deeper. Something that felt like moving with the heartbeat of the universe rather than away from it. Where Ultra Instinct detached him from thought, this new state anchored him. His mind wasn't quiet, it was clear. As if every memory, every emotion, every connection he had ever made flowed into each movement, guiding him not through absence, but through presence. The angels pressed harder. They tightened formation, striking in recursive patterns, every attack layered over the last, every motion calculated 6 steps ahead. They were flawless, relentless, divine law incarnate. Still, their staffs met only air. Goku weaved between them, light brushing past his skin like passing wings. His hair glowed brighter, white burning with thin streaks of radiant gold. His aura rippled outward, soft but unbreakable, dispersing divine blows the way sunlight disperses shadows. Whis watched in frozen awe. Impossible. He is reading the angel's flow. Beerus scowled. Reading? You mean predicting? No, Whis whispered. Not predicting, harmonizing.
as though the universe is revealing its rhythm to him willingly. Beerus's tail twitched. "That sounds very bad." "It is unprecedented," Whis replied, "and that is what terrifies them."
The angels increased speed, again and again, until their motions became lines of white fire streaking across the realm, until their voices blurred into the hum of creation, until the destroyer realm trembled beneath their divine sprint. And yet, Goku moved with them, not forcing his way through, not overpowering them, matching, flowing, as if he were swimming in the same current that powered their wings. An angel struck downward with perfect execution, enough force to erase the concept of ground beneath Goku. Goku met the blow with an open palm. The staff stopped completely. An angel gasped, a sharp, choked sound no mortal ear had ever heard. Their pure white halo dimmed for a fraction of a second. "You countered divine law," the angel breathed. Goku shook his head softly. "No, just listened." He pushed gently. The angel flew backward as if launched by the hand of a god. The formation broke for the first time. Lights flickered, halos trembled, patterns collapsed. The lead angel snapped his staff downward. "Reform! Do not let the anomaly synchronize further." But the others hesitated, because they saw it, clearly now, in Goku's aura. His ki was shifting. The white purity of ultra instinct harmonized with the emotional warmth of his mortal heart, and through that union came golden fire that pulsed with life. His hair sparked again, the gold tips deepening, lengthening, moving toward a new shape born of neither angelic design nor Saiyan tradition. His aura was beginning to roar, quietly, beautifully, dangerously. The angels regrouped, but their motions were no longer steady. Even divine beings could recognize a tide turning against inevitability. And Goku lifted his head slightly. His aura flared, expanding outward, a soft, thunderless bloom of golden white fire. The sky cracked, reality bent, and 100 angels felt for the first time the pressure of something surpassing their order. Goku whispered to himself, "I'm close." His glow intensified. Golden instinct stirred. The destroyer realm warped under the pressure of what Goku was becoming, not breaking, reforming, as if the space around him wanted to accommodate this new existence, reshaping itself to make room for a light that had no place in any cosmic order ever written. The angels saw it, and for the first time in their long pristine history, they hesitated. Their wings fluttered with microscopic tremors, their halos dimmed by fractions too small for mortal senses, their staves hummed with unstable resonance. It was like watching flawless machinery accumulate dust for the first time, failing not by damage, but by the mere presence of something that should not exist. The lead angel raised his voice, calm and absolute. Unit Theta, compression formation. 8 angels stepped forward, halos extending into elongated rings. They rotated in perfect harmony, creating a descending spiral of condensed divinity so dense that the fabric of space groaned beneath it. The spiral fell toward Goku like a collapsing star. Goku didn't step back, didn't brace, didn't prepare a stance. He closed his eyes. The spiral struck. The ground buckled beneath the impact. Light erupted like a silent bomb. Rivers of divine force cut through the realm, leaving scars of white flame in the air. Dust and shattered stone rushed outward in a massive, silent wave. For a moment, even Beerus shielded his face. Then, a soft glow pierced through the smoke. Golden white, pure, alive. Goku walked out of the spiral unharmed, not through durability, not through technique, not through force, but through alignment. The attack passed around him like a river around a stone that understood the flow better than the water itself. Whis' voice quivered. "He's synchronizing instinct with intent. That should be impossible. Angels do not merge emotion with technique. It corrupts the form." Beerus' eyes sharpened. "But he's not an angel, Whis. He's him." we swallowed. And that is exactly why the universe fears him. The angels reformed midair, though tremors of uncertainty pulsed through their ranks. Their movements were still divine, still perfect, but the edge of inevitability had vanished. They were no longer executing a sentence. They were fighting for control. One angel, young by their standards, halo bright and naive, drifted closer to the front lines, whispering to the lead. He carries resonance similar to our birthlight, but altered, blended, harmonized with mortal flame. The lead angel's jaw tightened. That is precisely what must not be allowed. They lifted both hands. Full spectrum acceleration. The sky convulsed. 100 halos expanded, merging into a blinding singularity that bathed the realm in liquid white fire. It wasn't heat, it was pressure. The weight of divine will pressing against every atom, every breath, every possibility Goku could have become. Goku lifted his gaze. For a brief moment, he saw himself reflected in the white. Not a warrior, not a savior, not a god. A boy barefoot in the forest chasing a fish with a stick. A father awkwardly trying to braid Gohan's hair. A friend laughing with Krillin on Kamehameha steps. A rival pushing himself to stand equal beside Vegeta.
He saw the simplest memories, the quiet ones, the fragile ones, the ones that made his heart a living thing instead of a machine for battle. And his aura responded. Golden filaments brightened until they swirled like shimmering ribbons through the white. His hair shifted again, its golden tips thickening, threading deeper into the white base like the veins of a luminous jewel. The air vibrated, not with force, with harmony. The angels sensed it before it fully emerged. A new frequency, a new rhythm, a new truth, one they were never designed to witness. The lead angel panicked. Now! All vectors! Collapse the anomaly before resonance stabilizes! They dove. A storm of halos, a choir of divine light, 100 flawless beings descending in a single, perfect act of cosmic annihilation. Goku stepped forward. Just one step. A soft impact of foot on stone. But the moment it touched the ground, the entire realm bent. Angels froze mid-descent. Halos flickered like candle flames hit by wind. Their staffs vibrated violently, detecting frequencies outside their understanding. Goku's aura rose, not violently, not explosively, but like sunrise cresting the horizon. A golden glow spilled through his hair, illuminating the white like fire caught in snow. His eyes gleamed with molten calm. He whispered, "I can feel it." Another step. The angels felt the shift. Resonance stabilizing, harmony crystallizing, instinct transforming, becoming something new. "Stop him!" the lead angel cried. "Do not let him reach complete synchrony!" But they were already too late. Goku's aura swelled, the realm shook, the sky split, and the warmth, the impossible human warmth, began to eclipse divine light. The birth of golden instinct had begun. The sky did not simply split. It peeled open like a curtain of white silk torn by a force that refused to obey the choreography of angels. Through the wound poured a radiance so brilliant it washed the destroyer realm in hues of molten gold and soft pearl white, blending in a way that no divine technique had ever achieved. Every angel felt it, not as heat, not as impact, but as disobedience. A frequency that did not belong to their order, yet resonated with it in a way so intimate it bordered on sacrilege. Goku's aura rippled, not outward, but through things, through stone, through light, through the fabric of the realm, and through the hearts of the divine beings hovering above him. The lead angel's voice trembled for the first time. He is breaching the boundary between instinct and sentiment.
Another angel whispered, "Such unity should not be possible. Sentiment scatters form. Instinct crystallizes it. They are opposites." Whis answered softly, though his words were meant for himself more than them. Opposites only resist each other when they fear merging. Beerus snapped. What does that mean? Whis closed his eyes briefly. It means mortals understand something, angels do not. Goku lifted his head. The gold in his eyes deepened, no longer a glow, but a flame. Soft, steady, certain. The kind of fire that warms hands rather than burns worlds. The angels descended again, but their formation was no longer flawless. The spiral of halos wavered, their staffs shook microscopically. The precision that defined their race faltered as divine algorithm clashed against something they could not compute. Emotion. Goku moved to meet them. Not swiftly, not aggressively, gracefully, in motions that felt like breathing made visible. An angel thrust a staff aimed directly for his chest. Goku sidestepped with a gentle tilt, touching the staff with 2 fingers. The divine metal bent. Bent. Not broken. Guided aside like a branch moved by a passing river. Another angel struck from behind. Goku pivoted, palm opening, allowing the blow to slide harmlessly along his forearm as if guided by invisible currents. Their attacks had no purchase. Not because Goku blocked them, but because he understood their direction and gently redirected their purpose. It was martial arts in its purest form. Beyond technique, beyond ultra instinct. This was harmony. The angels in unison panicked. Adjust rhythm, shift axis rotation. He's reading our sequence. No, he is joining it. 100 divine beings attempted to shift their pattern, but their changes only further exposed their rigidity. Goku stepped through them like a dancer moving through falling feathers. A staff swept toward his head. He ducked, golden light leaving a soft trail. A second staff came from below. He lifted his knee, just enough to meet it without aggression. A third attempted to blow to the back. He pivoted, catching the angel's wrist with a tender, almost apologetic touch. In that contact, fleeting, trembling, the angel felt something he had never felt before. A mortal's compassion. It staggered him more than any physical strike. The circle broke. The perfect machine of 100 unified wills fractured in a single moment of doubt, halos flickering like sparks in heavy wind. The lead angel gritted his teeth. Do not feel. Rise above the disruption. You are perfection. But even he heard the unsteadiness in his own voice. Goku stood in the center of their chaos, his aura swirling around him in soft spirals of white and molten gold. His hair glowed brighter now, the golden tips thickening, lengthening, inching into a new natural shape. Not sharp like Super Saiyan, not flowing like Ultra Instinct. Something gentler, something divine, something born of a heart stronger than celestial law. The angels regrouped, raising their staves. Their halos brightened to blinding white. Angelic totality. Initiate. The sky roared. A perfect circle of 100 beings formed above Goku, wings extended, staves converging to a single unified point. It was the angelic totality, the purest, deadliest, unbreakable expression of their kind. A technique so sacred it had not been used since before Zeno's rise. Whis exhaled sharply. Oh no. Beerus braced. What now?
Lord Beerus, they are about to unleash everything they are. The circle of angels flashed. Reality whitened. And in the heart of that divine convergence, Goku whispered, I won't let you bear this alone. His aura erupted, not with fury, with love. With every memory that shaped him, every bond that strengthened him, every fragile human moment that made him more than a warrior. The angels unleashed their judgment.
Goku unleashed his heart, and in that collision, space screamed. Time bent. Light bowed. The next moment would change the fate of this alternate universe forever. The moment their energies collided, the destroyer realm ceased to resemble a place. It became a memory of creation. White radiance from the angelic totality clashed with the golden white aura rising from Goku's chest, and the impact carved a hollow in space. An expanding sphere where neither time, nor gravity, nor even divine will could behave predictably. The ground beneath him rippled like liquid. The sky folded like fabric caught in unseen hands. Mountains flickered between existence and erasure. In the heart of the storm, Goku stood with his palms spread open, not resisting, not overpowering, but receiving. Because the light coming from above was more than an attack. It was the totality of what angels were: duty, law, order, eternity without warmth. Goku felt all of it pouring into him like a flood of white flame. He felt their burden for the first time, the loneliness of being perfect, the ache of obedience, the impossibility of compassion. Their attack was not born from hatred. It was born from centuries of unbroken certainty. He absorbed their pain. His aura brightened. The angels faltered. For eons, they had wielded their purity as a scalpel that cut reality itself. Never had it been met with light that did not fracture, did not resist, did not scream. Goku's ki embraced it. His light welcomed theirs, and that, more than resistance, broke their symmetry. The circle wavered. Halos stuttered like dying stars. Beings crafted to be flawless trembled. The totality, the ultimate synthesis of divine order, warped, losing cohesion. "Stabilize!" the lead angel commanded, panic finally bleeding into his voice. "Do not let him—" He stopped. The sight before him stole even the illusion of control.
Goku lifted his head. A column of golden white light rose from his body, swirling like two cosmic rivers merging into a single luminous ascent. The gold no longer flickered. It flowed down his spine, through his arms, into his hair. His hair lengthened subtly, the white strands thickening, glowing, infused with radiant gold that glimmered like dawn breaking through frost. The form was still incomplete, but the shape of what it would become was beginning to manifest. The molten calm in his eyes deepened. Not angelic, not divine, human. A human soul shining so brightly it rivaled heaven. He whispered, barely audible over the storm, "I can feel your hearts." The angels froze. Hearts? They did not have hearts. They were beyond such traits, were they not? Yet at his words, many of them unconsciously touched their chests as if checking for something they had been told did not exist. Goku stepped forward, 1 foot, and the angelic totality shattered. Not exploded, not crumbled, shattered like a mirror suddenly shown its own reflection. The angels were thrown back, spinning through the fractured light, their wings tattered at the edges, their halos flickering in erratic pulses. Their staffs dimmed, resonant energy disrupted by something they had no defense against: a mortal's empathy. Whisk covered his mouth with one trembling hand. Beerus stood frozen, hands balled into fists. Goku approached the nearest angel, a slender figure whose halo now pulsed like a wounded ember. He didn't strike. He didn't seize an opening. He simply placed his palm over the angel's staff. The divine metal glowed, first white, then gold, then melted gently into vapor. The angel gasped, staggering back, staring at his empty hands. What have you done?" he whispered. Goku shook his head. "I didn't break it. I just let it rest."
The angel trembled. Rest. A concept foreign to their existence. A concept forbidden. Goku turned slowly toward the lead angel.
The golden aura around him flickered like flame in total stillness. "You don't have to fight me," he said quietly. "You don't have to carry this burden alone." The lead angel's face twisted, not with hate, but with fear. "You do not understand. You are becoming something beyond the reach of law, something we cannot calculate or contain." His halo cracked with a sound like distant thunder. "You are becoming a choice." The word was spoken like poison. Goku stepped closer. His aura softened. His eyes glowed with warm, unwavering gold. "I'm becoming myself." Golden light rolled off him, wrapping around the realm like a warm tide. "And I won't let you erase that." The angels raised their staffs one last time, but their hands trembled. Not from exhaustion, not from damage, from doubt. Because for the first time, they wondered whether perfection had blinded them, and whether this mortal's impossible light was not a threat, but a revelation. The sky dimmed. Goku's aura continued to rise. Golden instinct pulsed, forming its second heartbeat. The next breath would bring him one step closer to Golden Instinct 3. For a long, trembling moment, no one moved. The destroyer realm hung suspended between breaths, caught in the fragile stillness that follows a disaster narrowly prevented, or the birth of something unimaginable. If a mortal had wandered into this place, they might have mistaken it for the calm after a storm. But Whis and Beerus felt the truth in their bones. This was the calm before a deeper rupture, because Goku's light was still growing. The golden-white aura surrounding him had thickened, coiling in gentle spirals that rose toward the cracked sky like smoke from a sacred flame. His hair glowed in full saturation now, white like divine silk, tipped with gold as rich as molten halos. The glow wasn't wild. It wasn't harsh. It was alive. And that was what terrified the angels most. Angels did not live. They existed. Goku lived. He breathed. He loved. He failed. He learned. And somehow, impossibly, his mortal journey had begun to mirror a path angels believed was closed long before time had meaning. Several angels hovered uncertainly, looking to their leader for direction, but the lead angel, usually the pillar of their cohesion, was unraveling. Cracks crawled along his halo like fractures in a frozen lake. His eyes, once mirrors of serene duty, now shimmered with something too dark and too human. Fear. Your light distorts us. It pulls at our core programming. It awakens things we were never meant to feel. Goku's expression softened. "I'm not trying to hurt you." "That is why it is dangerous," the lead angel snapped with something raw. "Compassion corrupts divine order. Harmony destroys structure. If we falter, if we waver, who maintains balance? Who enforces the laws that keep the multiverse from collapsing into chaos?"
Goku looked at him with steady golden warmth. "You don't have to do it alone." The lead angel flinched. Alone. Another forbidden word. Around him, several younger angels unconsciously touched their chests again, their fingers brushing the smooth cloth of their robes as if searching for something missing, something Goku's light made them long for. Whis exhaled shakily. "He is challenging the very foundation of angelic existence." Beerus swallowed hard. "That idiot. He's making the angels feel. Isn't that—" He couldn't finish the sentence. Whis finished it for him. "Impossible?" "Yes." Goku took one more step forward. His aura rippled. Every angel stepped back, not from the pressure. It wasn't crushing or violent,
but from the clarity it radiated. It was as if his key whispered, "You can be more than what you were made to be." And the angels, who had obeyed eons of immutable rules, felt their foundations shift with every beat of that message. The lead angel raised his trembling staff. "No, no, we cannot allow evolution through emotion. We cannot allow resonance with mortal will." His voice cracked. "We cannot allow you to exist." He shot forward. But he was not alone. Dozens of angels followed, not with certainty, but desperation. Their formation was broken, jagged, uneven. Some moved too fast. Some hesitated. Some faltered. For the first time in their existence, the angels were fighting with fear instead of order. Goku's aura pulsed outward once. Just once. A soft wave spreading like a warm breeze. And time itself slowed. Not from force, but from choice. His will brushed against the fabric of the battle, asking, not demanding, that the chaos calm. And the battlefield obeyed. The angels froze mid-strike, suspended in liquid stillness, their wings caught in arcs of shattered white light, their halos dimmed to faint circles, their staves glowed weakly, as though their certainty were draining from them. Goku walked among them slowly, compassion in every step. He placed his hand gently on the shoulder of a trembling angel. "I don't hate you. I don't blame you. You're doing what you think is right." The angel's lips parted, a shaky, breathless sound escaping him. Not a cry, not a scream, a sigh. As if for the first time, he felt something, like relief. Goku stepped back, golden fire swirling softly around him. The angels slowly regained motion, not because Goku released control, but because his ki urged them to choose their next action instead of acting from programming. And that frightened the lead angel more than any attack ever could.
"You are unraveling us," he said hoarsely. "You are reshaping the purpose of our kind." Goku met his gaze. "I'm reshaping mine." The lead angel's halo cracked through the center. A shard of white light fell like a tear. "The anomaly must not reach full awakening," he whispered, "regardless of the cost." Whis whispered sharply, "No, he wouldn't! He can't!" But the lead angel had already lifted his staff to the sky. A new light formed above his head, not white, not divine, but void, black, swirling light. Something forbidden, something erased from angelic history. Beerus's eyes widened with primal terror. "What is that?" Whis's voice broke into a whisper, usually reserved for ancient, terrible truths. "A fallen singularity. No angel is allowed to—" "That is the point, Lord Beerus. It is not allowed." The other angels gasped, their halos flickering in horror. The lead angel whispered, "If we cannot erase the anomaly, then we will erase the realm." Goku's eyes narrowed. Golden fire surged behind them. Chapter 2 ends with the realm trembling on the edge of collapse, and Goku about to take the first true step toward Golden Instinct 3. The fallen singularity expanded like a wound in the sky, a sphere of swirling liquid darkness, too dense to be shadow, too alive to be void, unfurled above the lead angel's trembling halo. It pulsed unevenly, hungrily, as though its very existence violated the heartbeat of creation. Whis staggered backward a step, horror bleeding into his calm face. "No, no, this is madness. Angels are forbidden to touch that state." Beerus barked, "Forbidden? Why?" Whis's voice dropped into a whisper, usually reserved for ancient, terrible truths. Because fallen energy doesn't erase beings, it erases the laws that define them. Beerus froze. So that thing, yes, it erases the rules that keep reality coherent. If unleashed fully, the realm itself will cease to know how to exist. Meanwhile, the lead angel strained beneath the growing sphere, his wings trembling, eyes bloodshot with strain. He wasn't meant to channel such power. No angel was. But fear had driven him beyond programming, beyond purity, beyond salvation. The other angels recoiled as if standing too close to a dying star. "High Seraph, stop! You'll tear the realm apart! This is not our way! This breaks the first principle!" But the lead angel, the High Seraph governing this execution, was deaf to their pleas. "Meaningless," he hissed, voice shaking with emotional fracture. "If the anomaly finishes awakening, the laws we obey will crumble. Better the realm die pure than survive corrupted." He thrust his staff upward, merging its white radiance with the swirling black sphere. The fallen singularity screamed, not with sound, with pressure. The universe buckled.
The sky tore open in jagged fractures, floating islands shattered into glittering shards. A million cracks spread through the fabric of space, trembling like broken glass, trying desperately to remember its shape. Every breath Goku took felt heavier than the last. He looked up at the singularity, feeling its pull, like a cold hand pressing into his chest, trying to smother the warmth he'd built. He understood instantly. If he did nothing, if he trusted the angels to regain order, all life in this realm would collapse into ruleless nothing. Beerus, Whis, every angel present, and him. Goku clenched his fists. He didn't let fear choose for him. Not now. Not ever. He stepped forward, golden white aura glowing brighter with each pace. The High Seraph snapped his gaze downward, eyes wide with disbelief. "You still stand? Even beneath this?" Goku didn't answer. He simply walked. Each footfall sent ripples through the trembling ground, cracks sealing behind him as though reality leaned toward his light for support. His hair fluttered in the gravitational storm, white strands dancing with molten gold spreading slowly, steadily. The fallen singularity widened. Goku felt its gravity pulling at him, at his memories, at his purpose. Images flashed across his mind. Gohan as a child clinging to his gi. Goten laughing with flour on his face. Chi-Chi screaming at him for coming home late. Krillin bleeding on Namek for him. Vegeta standing beside him during the Tournament of Power. These were not burdens. They were anchors. He whispered to himself, "I'm not losing who I am." The angels felt the shift, a warm pulse pushing outward from Goku's aura, countering the singularity's hungry darkness. Golden threads thickened across his body, spiraling down his arms, wrapping around his torso like ancient symbols. The High Seraph roared, voice breaking into something almost mortal. "Stop! Stop that! You cannot ascend any further! You were not made for this!" Goku lifted his eyes, golden irises glowing with unshaken clarity. But maybe I was meant to choose. He bent his legs slightly. Energy gathered beneath his feet, not wild, not violent, a gentle cyclone of white and gold swirling like a sun learning how to breathe. The High Seraph hurled the singularity downward. The realm screamed. But Goku blurred upward, not flying, not teleporting, rising. His aura wrapped around him like wings of light, every feather-shaped flare shimmering with transcendent glow. He struck the singularity with one outstretched hand, a mortal hand, a compassionate hand. The fallen energy recoiled, but it did not break. It pushed back, hard, threatening to crush his arm into nothingness. Goku gritted his teeth as radiant and void clashed in a storm of reality-rending force. Below, angels gasped. Whis covered his mouth. Beerus whispered, He can't hold that." But the golden flame in his chest answered, "Yes, he can, because he must." And as his ki flared,
White sharpened, gold deepened, hair lengthened in flowing streaks. Golden instant drew closer to completion. The singularity cracked at the edges. Goku pushed harder. The realm vibrated dangerously. His aura roared. Everything teetered on the edge of collapse as the spark of golden instinct threatened to ignite into its true, forbidden form. The fallen singularity writhed beneath Goku's palm like a living paradox, pulling, collapsing, resisting, devouring, a hungry knot of unmaking that cared nothing for gods or mortals. Every second his hand pressed against it, existence warped around his wrist. His skin flickered between form and light. His fingers blurred into gold, then into nothing, then back again. But Goku didn't pull away. He pushed forward. The void shrieked in a pulse that rattled the bones of the realm. Angels staggered, clutching their stabs as the pressure tore at their halos. Even Beerus, a being built to withstand cosmic destruction, dropped to one knee under the sheer weight of collapsing law. Only Whis remained standing, barely, face pale with a fear no angel had ever been meant to feel. "Goku," he whispered, "you are walking into a place where beings like you do not return." But Goku wasn't listening to fear. He listened to the warmth in his chest, a heartbeat echoing through memory and meaning. His ki flared, gold and white spirals weaving up his arm like threads of sunlight pushing through storm clouds. The singularity shuddered. Cracks spread across its shadowy surface like fractures in a dying star. The high seraph screamed, "Do not touch it! You will unravel everything you are!" Goku's fingers dug deeper into the void. "That's why," he said softly, "I won't let go." And then he pushed. Not with fists, not with godly power, with will. The singularity bucked violently, struggling to swallow him whole. Waves of gravitational force smashed against him, bending the realm into spirals of warped geometry. Space twisted, time thinned, reality hiccuped. But Goku pushed again, and the void cracked louder. Around him, the angels panicked. "This is impossible. He's interfering with the fabric of negation. No mortal can maintain identity inside a void field. He should be erased already. Why does he still exist?" Whis whispered the truth they all feared. Because he does not fight to preserve himself. He fights for others, and fallen energy has never been confronted by a heart like his. Goku's aura erupted in a ring of radiance, not a blast, a pulse, a heartbeat made visible. The golden white light wrapped around the void like gentle hands holding a trembling creature, not to crush it, but to stop it from hurting others. And the void hesitated. For the first time in its existence, the void felt resisted by something that wasn't force or fear or divine authority. It was resisted by identity. Goku's voice trembled as he whispered into the darkness, "I won't let you take them." He thought of Gohan's laugh, of Vegeta's pride, of Chi-Chi's stubbornness, of moments that built him from the inside out. "I won't let you take me." The singularity convulsed. Something deep within it recoiled from the idea of self, a concept it had long been designed to erase, and the recoil triggered a violent detonation. Black lightning crackled outwards, striking angels mid-air. Wings split, halos cracked, staffs glowed with emergency countermeasures they weren't built to sustain. The high seraph shielded his face as the void spun wildly above him. "It's destabilizing faster than predicted. Stop him before the void reversal triggers." But no one moved. The angel stared, paralyzed by awe and terror as Goku's light continued pushing into the void, not consuming it, not dominating it, but forcing it to feel the presence of a heart that refused to break. The singularity cracked completely. A black fissure tore across its surface. Another, and from each crack, golden white light spilled through, like dawn cutting through the horizon.
Goku's hair lifted in the storm, lengthening slightly as golden streaks threaded deeper into the white, glowing like veins of celestial fire. His aura didn't explode, it blossomed, expanding in slow-burning waves that soothed the realm, even as the void tried to destroy it. Whis took a trembling step forward. "Oh my, Zeno! He's overpowering negation with harmony!" Beerus looked up, eyes wide. That's not possible. Even gods can't." Whis shook his head. "He's not acting as a god. He's acting as a mortal who remembers why he fights." At the center of everything, light and dark clashed, in perfect silence. Then Goku spoke again, breathing warmth into the collapsing void. "You're not taking this realm." The singularity buckled inward. "You're not taking my friends." Its surface shattered. "And you're not taking my heart." The void screamed and burst. A geyser of golden white light erupted outward, sweeping across the sky, purifying the darkness, healing the cracks in space, pushing back against the collapse. Angels shielded themselves. Beerus looked away. Whis covered his mouth in disbelief, and Goku, bathed in his own rising aurora, hovered in the air with his eyes closed, hair flowing, golden threads dancing like living flame. The singularity was gone, but the transformation it had ignited in him was only beginning. Golden instinct pulsed toward its next stage. When the fallen singularity burst, the destroyer realm exhaled, not with wind, with light. Golden white radiance washed outward in slow swirling waves, like the soft glow that follows a supernova when the universe chooses not to mourn, but to begin again. The fractured sky stitched itself together. Islands reformed from drifting rubble. Colors returned to the air, trembling faintly, as if afraid they might vanish again. Everything settled, except him. Goku hung suspended in the center of the healing storm, his body outlined in shifting light. His hair flowed gently in the airless quiet, white as cosmic frost, with molten gold threading through every strand like rivers of sunlight cutting across fresh snow. The transformation was no longer a flicker or a promise. It was becoming a state of existence. But he was not yet finished. His breathing was slow, measured, almost meditative. His chest rose and fell with deliberate softness, each exhale releasing small motes of glowing dust that drifted upward, refusing to fall. The realm reacted to his ki as if it recognized it, not as a threat, but as a stable center around which it could rebuild. Below him, angels stared with trembling wings. Their fear was changing, not fading, not breaking, changing. The High Seraph felt it first, a tightness, a pressure, a tremor in the core of his being. It was not pain. Angels did not feel pain. It was not fear. They knew fear only as a mechanical warning of deviation. This was different. This was something like envy. The word startled him. It wasn't spoken. It surfaced, unbidden, unwelcome, dangerous.
He clutched his chest as if something were beating there, something he had no anatomy for. Around him, other angels stirred with the same creeping disturbance. Why does my chest feel heavy? What is this warmth? No, stop! It's destabilizing me! Our halos are pulsing out of sync! Whis whispered, barely audible. His harmony is rewriting their resonance. Beerus stepped back. You mean he's changing them? Whis slowly shook his head. No, he is showing them a possibility that was always forbidden. Above the trembling angels, Goku opened his eyes. They were no longer simply golden. They were luminous, deep, as if holding the reflection of 1,000 dawns. The pupils shimmered with thin rings of radiant white, like halos turned inward. He looked at the angels, not as enemies, but as beings carrying a burden they had never questioned. And the realm responded. Every beam of light in the sky bent subtly toward him, not out of submission, but out of recognition. Goku descended slowly, feet touching the broken stone which mended itself beneath him. Cracks folded inward, as if kneeling. Dust lifted into the air, glowing like tiny suns. The high seraph staggered backward. "Stay away!" Goku's voice was soft. "I'm not here to hurt you." "You have already hurt us!" His halo flickered violently. "You have made us imperfect!" Goku tilted his head slightly. Maybe perfect things were meant to grow too. "Growth is mortality," the high seraph roared, wings flaring. "We were forged to guide creation, not partake in its chaos." Goku stepped closer. His aura dimmed, not weakening, but gentling, so the angels could breathe without breaking. He didn't glow like a god. He glowed like a person who had lived. A boy who learned martial arts under the stars. A father who protected his sons. A rival who pushed a prince to become noble. A friend who died for others without regret. These memories felt the brush against him, not through words, not through ki, but through resonance. Goku's journey was not power, it was evolution. And something inside the angel cracked. Emotion surged through him like fire, visible, raw, uncontrollable. His wings spasmed, his staff shook, his halo shattered in a burst of white sparks. He fell to one knee, gasping. Around him, several angels cried out, not in fear of Goku, but in fear of themselves. "What is happening to us? I feel something. This warmth, it's spreading. No, emotions corrupt, emotions erase." The high seraph glared up through tears he shouldn't be capable of shedding. "You, anomaly, what have you done to us?" Goku knelt in front of him, not as a victor, not as a god, as a man. "I didn't change you," he said gently. "I just showed you what was already there." The seraph trembled, breathing hard, face contorted with rage and terror, and beneath it the first spark of something else. He whispered, voice cracking, "What is this feeling?" Goku placed his hand over the angel's shaking fingers. "Being alive."
And the realm trembled again, responding not to destruction, but to awakening. A pulse of golden white light rippled outward from Goku, passing through every angel. And something inside him, deep, unreachable, the core of golden instinct, ignited. The transformation reached its threshold. A luminous flame rose behind his spine like a blooming wing of starlight. The next heartbeat would decide whether Goku ascended or broke the order of the cosmos forever. The pulse that radiated from Goku didn't feel like a shockwave. It felt like truth. It washed over the angels in warm, spiraling waves, golden white and impossibly gentle, like the first sunlight creeping over a frost-bitten world. Wherever it touched, halos flickered, wings trembled, eyes widened as foreign sensations pushed up through centuries of perfectly controlled stillness. Some angels clutched their chests, gasping at the phantom beat of a heart they technically did not possess. Others reached toward the light as if it were something they had chased in dreams they were not built to have. One angel wept without sound, tears of white gold falling from a face that had never known the meaning of sorrow. The high seraph stared at his trembling hands as if they belonged to someone else. This warmth, it spreads like madness. His voice cracked again. Mortals break under emotion. Gods fall under emotion. Angels were created to be above it. This is corruption. Goku stood. His aura flared, but softly, like a lantern lit with compassion rather than heat. "It's not corruption," he said. "It's connection." The seraph flinched at the word, as if it were a blade. "We were not made to connect. We were made to observe, to maintain, to stand apart." Goku looked gently into his shaking eyes. Standing apart isn't the same as standing above. The seraph recoiled. A painful, disbelieving sound escaped him. "No, no! Your existence, your evolution, it pulls us into the current of chaos. If we feel, we fail. If we change, we fall." Behind him, the angels collapsed onto floating stone fragments, wings trembling as the light pressed into their cores. One whispered, "Why does this hurt?" Another whispered, "Why does this feel good?" A third sobbed, "I don't want to lose this. I don't want it to stop." Emotion had become a contagion, not from Goku's ki, but from his humanity. Whis trembled as he watched, awe and sorrow mixing in his voice. "This is unprecedented. Angels are not meant to evolve, only to guide those who do. But now, seeing him..." Beerus snapped, "Whis, answer me plainly." Whis swallowed. "He is awakening something in them that predates their creation, something the Grand Priest erased from their nature." Beerus blinked. "Erased?" Whis nodded slowly. Angels were once capable of emotion. The realm went silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Beerus whispered, "But why remove something like that?" Whis' voice softened. "To ensure we never rebel and never suffer." Goku heard it, and it hurt him. He looked out at the trembling angels, beings designed to be perfect, but at the cost of being alive, and he felt his golden aura brighten in response, thickening around him like a rising tide. His transformation was feeding on emotion, not dark emotion, not rage, not divine detachment, but compassion. Connection. Empathy. Resolve. Goku turned to the high seraph. "You're not breaking," he said softly. "You're waking up." The seraph's halo split another inch, light spilling like blood. "We cannot wake." His voice shook violently. "If we wake, we lose what we are. We lose eternity. We lose purpose. We lose obedience." Goku stepped closer. "Maybe purpose isn't something you're given." He placed a gentle hand over the seraph's collapsed halo. "Maybe it's something you earn." The seraph shook, tears flickering down his face like falling stars. Why can a mortal carry what a divine being cannot?" Goku smiled softly. "We grow because we're allowed to fall." And then, the final spark ignited. Goku's aura convulsed outward in a breathtaking bloom of golden white fire. The light didn't burn, it healed, bathing angels in shimmering warmth, stabilizing their trembling wings, soothing their shaking forms. And at its center, his transformation crossed the point of no return.
golden instinct solidified into its second stage, hair brightening, gold threading deeper, aura gaining structure that resembled luminous wings unfurling from his spine. The seraph stared in awe. You are transcending without severing your emotions. Goku exhaled, a calm, steady, resonant breath. I'm not leaving anything behind. The seraph whispered. Then you are becoming something that should not exist. Goku looked upward, sensing the realm itself bracing. I'm becoming what I have to be. And then the sky darkened, not with void, with descent, a presence, a pressure, a divine weight no angel dared invoke. Every angel dropped to their knees, wings folding tight, halos forced into rigid stillness as if a primordial instinct, buried so deep it predated memory, commanded them to bow. Whis stiffened, hands trembling at his sides. Beerus's tail bristled, his pupils narrowing to slits he hadn't seen since the dawn of his own creation. No one needed to speak the name. The pressure alone was enough. A presence older than gods, older than angels, even older than destruction. A presence that existed at the very edge of what the multiverse could endure. The Grand Priest was watching. The sphere pulsed once. The realm shuddered violently in response. Mountains bowing, islands sinking, clouds collapsing inward as if kneeling in reverence. The high seraph pressed his forehead to the ground, voice breaking with terror he had no biological right to feel. He sees us. He sees us. We invoked what was forbidden, and now he sees us. Goku stood alone, unaffected, unafraid, not immune to the pressure, but anchored by something deeper than fear. His aura rippled like a golden tide, not violently, not challengingly, calm, rooted, alive. The sphere of pale light dimmed slightly, as if narrowing its gaze directly onto him. Whis whispered, horror creeping into his voice. He's assessing your resonance. Beerus hissed, assessing? For what? Whis swallowed. For classification. For judgment. The high seraph trembled harder. He is measuring the anomaly's compatibility with divine structure. Goku remained still, eyes steady, golden fire reflecting in his pupils. He felt the Grand Priest's attention move through him, not touching flesh, not touching ki, but touching something deeper, his identity. It read his memories without invasion. It read his intentions without emotion. It read the shape of his spirit without approval or disdain. It simply observed. But observation from a being like that was a force of nature. Goku closed his eyes, letting the presence pass through him. He didn't resist. He didn't hide. He let himself be seen. The sphere brightened. The angels gasped, wings folding tighter. The high seraph cried out, No, no, High Father, please, spare us, spare the realm, spare... His voice broke as the sphere's light intensified, not toward him, but toward Goku. Beerus hissed under his breath, Whis, is the Grand Priest going to erase him? Whis said nothing, because Whis didn't know. The sphere dimmed, then brightened again. A rhythm, a pattern, a test.
Golden instinct pulsed inside Goku's chest, a warm, steady counterbeat to the cold pulse of divine judgment. And then, the Grand Priest's voice filled the realm, not through sound, through truth. You are changing the nature of angels. The entire sky vibrated with those words.
The angels bowed deeper, some collapsing under the weight of the sentence, convinced they would be erased for their deviation. The high seraph sobbed, actual tears of glowing white running down his face. Goku opened his eyes. He didn't bow, but he didn't defy. He simply stood, a single point of warmth in a universe of cold rules. He answered softly, "I didn't mean to change them." A pause. The light flickered. Goku continued, "I just wanted to protect them. All of them. Even when they attacked me." The Grand Priest's voice echoed again. Impossibly calm, impossibly neutral. "You do not protect angels." Goku met the sphere's light without blinking. Maybe they should. The realm froze. Even the stars beyond the sky halted in their slow rotation. The high seraph trembled like a child beneath a storm. Whis choked on breath. "No! Son Goku, don't!" But the Grand Priest was not angered. He was processing. The sphere dimmed. Light swirled in slow circles, examining golden instinct from every angle. Its warmth, its structure, its deviation, its potential. Finally, the voice returned. "You are not a threat." Whis collapsed to one knee in relief. Beerus nearly fell backward. But the voice continued. "Yet." Goku inhaled slightly, not intimidated, just aware. The sphere brightened once more. "Your evolution exceeds the projection of your timeline. Your resonance disrupts the angelic lattice. Your ascent was unauthorized." Each sentence struck the realm like a tectonic shift, but Goku responded quietly. "I didn't choose this to break anything." His aura glowed brighter, golden, warm, undeniably human. "I chose this because someone had to protect them." The sphere of pale light slowed its rotation. Then, it shrank. Smaller, smaller, smaller.
Until it became a single, glowing point. A decision. A judgment. A decree. Then, protect them. The light drifted toward Goku, touched his chest, and sank into him like a drop of cosmic dew. Whis gasped. That's... He gave you permission?" Beerus's jaw hung open. "He acknowledged him?" The high seraph collapsed fully, weeping as his shattered halo pulsed with new light. The realm steadied. The doorway closed. The presence vanished. But Goku's aura flared in a soft explosion of golden white fire. A new ring of light formed behind him, like a halo but larger, deeper, blooming with patterns no angel recognized. The second stage of golden instinct was no longer forming. It was born. And with the Grand Priest's decree, it now had a purpose, a destiny, a duty. The realm was quiet, not peaceful. Quiet in the way a battlefield is quiet after the impossible happens. Quiet in the way creation pauses when a new law is about to be written. Goku stood in the center of that stillness, golden white aura folding around him slowly like the breath of a sleeping star. The halo-like ring behind him pulsed with a soft, rhythmic glow, neither angelic nor mortal, neither divine nor primal. Something between, something beyond, something the cosmos had never seen before. Golden instinct, second dawn. The angels stared at him with trembling wings, their halos flickering in ragged rhythm as if still learning how to hold themselves together again. The emotions he had awakened in them
small, fragile, dangerous, glowed in their eyes like newborn flames, unsure whether they were allowed to burn. The high seraph rose unsteadily to his feet, cradling the fractured remnants of his halo. He looked at Goku not with hatred now, but with a kind of reverent fear. "You were acknowledged," he whispered, "as one who may protect us." Goku's expression softened. "I didn't ask for that." "And yet," the seraph murmured, "it was granted." The other angels murmured among themselves, their voices pale with disbelief. He spoke to him. He permitted his evolution. He did not erase the anomaly. What does this mean for us? Whis stood slowly, his staff trembling slightly in his grasp. He studied Goku with an expression neither joyful nor horrified, an expression that looked like awe wrapped tightly in grief. "Son Goku, your resonance has changed again. You stand outside the angelic hierarchy, yet you are not severed from it." Beerus stepped beside him, arms crossed tightly. "Whis, quit dancing around it. What is he now?" Whis hesitated, then answered, "He is a mortal who has begun to carry a celestial heart." The words shook the angels like thunder. Even Goku blinked, unsure whether he understood. But he felt it. In the quiet center of his being, a new rhythm, a new pulse, not replacing his humanity, but amplifying it. Not divine order, not mortal instinct, something that held both without contradiction.
He looked at his hands. White and gold light danced across his fingers. Not power he controlled, but a presence that flowed through him, as if the universe trusted him enough to share its own breath. The high seraph wiped a trembling hand across his face, smearing the trail of golden tears. "The Grand Priest's blessing means something we have never endured," he whispered. "It means change is permitted. It means awakening is not sin." A younger angel beside him shook her head. "But we were not made to awaken." Goku stepped toward her. She recoiled instinctively, wings folding tight. But his aura dimmed, and its warmth touched her gently, like the first warmth of morning spreading across cold skin. "You're not breaking," he told her. "You're just feeling." Her breath caught. Something delicate and bright fluttered inside her chest, an echo of sensation so painfully new she almost sobbed from the shock of it. "Feeling," she whispered, voice shaking. "It hurts, but it also—" She placed a hand over her chest. "It also makes me want to stay alive." Goku smiled. Not a warrior smile, not a victor smile. A human smile. And at that moment, the sky cracked. A deep, thunderous tear split through the upper heavens, sending a jagged line of cosmic fractal patterns spiraling across the horizon. The angels gasped, wings flaring wide. The high seraph's eyes widened in panic. "No, no, the void trace is not gone." Goku snapped his head upward. His aura surged instinctively, because descending through that fracture, not as light, not as shadow, but as a shape of shifting nothing, was something born from the remnants of the fallen singularity. Not a void, not an angel, not a demon. A trace. A leftover wound in the fabric of creation, given shape and hunger. It shrieked without sound, its form writhing like torn pages of reality, its edges shredding the sky it descended through. Whis stepped back horrified.
Oh no, when the singularity collapsed, it tore off a piece of itself. Beerus growled. So it survived. No, worse, Whis whispered. It learned from him. The trace flickered its chaotic form toward Goku, drawn to the warmth, the resonance, the new celestial pulse awakening inside him. And Goku felt it. A pull, a threat, a challenge. Not from hatred, from inevitability. Whatever this trace was, it wasn't trying to kill him. It was trying to become him. Goku stepped forward. Golden instinct ignited silently around him, his aura blooming into soft flame. He whispered, I won't let you take this light. The trace screamed and dove.
The trace plunged from the sundered sky like a spear forged from torn space. Its form wasn't stable, shifting between shards of shadow, threads of inverted light, flickering fragments of laws that no longer remembered how to function. It distorted the air as it fell, leaving behind a trail of collapsing geometry that resealed itself only after it passed, like a wound struggling to close. Every angel recoiled. They had no instincts for fear, but the trace triggered something older than their creation, something that once whispered in the void before the grand priests shaped order from chaos. The high seraph screamed, Do not let it touch you! It is a remnant of unmaking. Wisp gripped his staff so tightly it cracked under his fingers. That is no longer fallen energy. It has adapted. It tasted Son Goku with resonance. Now it wants more. Beerus snarled. It's aiming for him directly. It's not attacking. Wisp nodded grimly. It's seeking alignment. It wants to overwrite him. Goku didn't retreat. He stepped forward. His new halo-like ring brightened behind him, petals of light rotating in slow, intricate spirals. His aura gently lifted the dust around his feet, as if trying to warn the world to stay back. The trace shrieked, not with sound, but with gravitational distortion that made the angels clutch their heads. And then it struck. Goku vanished. He didn't teleport. He didn't dodge. He simply moved with a fluidity the trace couldn't anticipate. A soft step, a quiet shift, the smallest tilt of his spine. The trace tore through the space he'd just occupied, ripping a thin, screaming line into nothingness that sealed itself with a shower of glowing particles. Goku appeared behind it. His voice was almost apologetic. I can feel you don't want to destroy anything. You're just trying to find shape. The trace spiraled around, its form stuttering, flickering. A warped echo of Goku's aura flared dangerously around its edges. Golden white twisted into inverted color. It had begun to imitate him. The High Seraph's voice broke. It is learning from resonance. It is stealing his growth. If it completes the alignment. But Goku lifted a hand, calm, steady. The trace lashed. A spear of void light thrust straight for Goku's chest. He raised 2 fingers, not in a block, but in a guiding touch. The spear bent gently, redirected like a stream of water flowing around a stone. The trace screeched, confused by resistance that didn't resist at all. Goku whispered, I won't fight you with force. The angels stared in disbelief. Why isn't he destroying it? The anomaly must be erased. High Seraph, command us! The High Seraph shook his head violently. No! If you strike that entity now, the feedback will collapse the realm. It is bound to him. It mirrors him. Goku stepped again. The trace recoiled as if burned by sunlight. But it still reached for him, drawn to the warmth of his evolving essence, desperate to complete itself through him.
It lunged, Goku caught its edge, his hand sinking into the unstable darkness. It screamed. Goku didn't pull back. He closed his eyes and let his aura flow. Golden white ki spilled from his palm like warm water, seeping into the trace's flickering body instead of pushing it away. The angels gasped. "He's letting it touch him! He's merging! Stop him before it infects!" But Goku's aura held firm. The trace convulsed as his light entered it, trembling violently, fractures rippling across its form. It didn't understand warmth. It didn't understand identity. It didn't understand a boundary that didn't kill. Goku whispered, voice quiet enough that only the ki could hear. "You came from the void, but you reached for me because you wanted a shape." The trace shimmered. Goku's aura brightened. "You don't have to take mine. I'll give you your own." The angels froze. The High Seraph's breath caught. Impossible! Is he trying to teach that abomination how to exist? Whis closed his eyes. No, he's showing it how to be alive. The trace flickered violently, its form splitting, one half reaching for Goku, the other resisting, like a creature torn between instinct and awakening. Goku inhaled softly. His halo-like ring behind him expanded into a radiant bloom of golden petals. His hair brightened, gold deepening, white sharpening. Golden instinct pulsed, warm, stable, undeniable. He said, "I accept you, but you have to choose who you want to be." The trace vibrated, shaking, screaming, struggling split between consuming him and becoming itself. Goku leaned forward. Golden light poured from his chest in a slow, steady pulse. A heartbeat, not his own. A new one. A gift. The trace convulsed, and for a moment, its form held. A shape, a silhouette, fragile, shimmering. The beginning of identity. And then, it shattered into spiraling motes of golden black light that sank into the air. Not destroyed, transformed. The realm held its breath. Goku lowered his hand, exhausted, but standing. It chose to be free. Whis whispered, He didn't purify it. He didn't erase it. He liberated it." The angels stared. Beerus exhaled slowly. "That's insane, even for you." Goku smiled. His aura pulsed softly, halo petals shimmering behind him. The transformation grew deeper. He had taken another step toward Golden Instinct 3. But the sky was not done breaking. Above them, through the seam where the trace had fallen, a new rift opened. Not chaotic, not void, purposeful. Someone else was stepping through. The next threat, the next revelation, the next test. The second rift unfolded with deliberate grace. Not a tear, not a collapse, a summon. Its edges glowed with controlled symmetry, 4 concentric rings of pale silver, spinning in opposite directions, each humming with the disciplined precision of angelic authority. This was no remnant of chaos, no accidental wound, no trace of forbidden void. This was a doorway, and whoever was opening it did so with permission. The angels recognized the signature immediately. They gasped, wings snapping straight, halos tightening into perfect alignment. "He's not coming through, is he? Not after what happened. No, he wouldn't. But that energy, it can only be..." The High Seraph's face paled. "It's not the Grand Priest. It's
A foot stepped through the rift, bare, silent, and lit with a faint radiance like moonlight on calm water.
Then a staff. Then the flowing pristine robes every angel instinctively lowered their gaze to. Whis exhaled shakily. Oh dear, this is unexpected. Beerus tensed, claws flexing. Whis, who? The newcomer stepped fully into the realm. An angel, but not an ordinary one. Taller, calmer, carrying an aura that didn't glow. It resonated, like the stillness before the first star started, like the breath before creation chooses to begin. He closed the rift with a simple gesture, the rings folding into a single point of light that vanished into his palm. He surveyed the realm, the angels tearing up with lingering emotion, the high seraph bandaged in golden fractures, the lingering particles from the transformed trace, Goku, shining with a resonance no mortal should possess. The newcomer spoke with a voice like a soft bell struck at the bottom of an ocean. Son Goku, so it is true. Goku blinked, unsure. Do I know you? The angel smiled faintly, the kind of smile one gives to a child asking why stars shine. No, but I know what you've become. We stepped forward, bowing with uncharacteristic tension. Brother, why did father send you? Brother. Beerus stiffened. Goku tilted his head. Your Whis. The newcomer nodded once, placing a hand on Whis' shoulder. Vaisal, second-born of the father's line, keeper of origin protocol. Whis swallowed Goku. He's not just my brother. He is the one who ensures that all angels remain within the bounds of their design. Beerus muttered under his breath. So, your family's inspector. Vaisal looked at Goku with calm, unreadable eyes. No, I ensure that the flow of evolution never exceeds the skeleton of reality. His gaze deepened. And you, Son Goku, are beginning to exceed it. Goku didn't step back. His golden aura remained warm and steady. I'm not trying to break anything. Vaisal approached him slowly, not with hostility, not with reverence, with curiosity. Your golden instinct, it is not a mutation of ultra instinct, nor is it a divine graft. It is an emotional resonance, something angels were stripped of before the first universe stabilized. You awakened it by accident. You expanded it by compassion. You stabilized it through choice. He stopped in front of Goku and lowered his staff. Golden instinct flickered softly in response. Vaisal nodded. You have taken the first steps into celestial mortality. The angels fell silent. Even the high seraph dared not breathe. Vaisal's voice lowered, almost gentle. Mortal hearts were never meant to hold celestial frameworks. The weight either crushes the mortal or corrupts the divine. He glanced at the angels, still trembling, still feeling, still awakening. You have begun affecting them. Their cores have shifted. Their design has softened. Goku's eyes widened with worry. I didn't want to hurt them. Vaisal shook his head. You haven't hurt them. He raised his staff. A wave of soft silver spread across the angels like moonlight over water. They all gasped. Their wings steadied. Their halos brightened. Their trembling quieted. But the faint glow of emotion, the spark Goku ignited, remained. Vaisal looked back at him. They have changed. Permanently. Goku swallowed. Is that bad? Vaisal's expression softened. No. He stepped closer. It is dangerous. The air tightened. A soft wind moved through the realm. or something pretending to be a wind, something that whispered between the atoms. Weissel spoke like a verdict. Golden instinct has begun to create a new lineage of power, one that bridges mortality and divinity, one that neither angels nor gods can control, one that even Father must now examine with caution. Goku's aura flickered, not from fear, but readiness. What happens next? Weissel extended his hand. A sigil formed above his palm, a glowing ring of symbols older than the first universe. Next, he said softly, I must test the stability of your transformation.
The sigil brightened. And if it proves unstable, the realm trembled. I will unmake it. Goku didn't flinch. He stepped forward. His aura ignited in a silent bloom of golden fire. Then let's see if I can hold it. Weissel nodded. Very well. The sigil expanded, a celestial circle forming around Goku's feet. The test was about to begin. Not of power, of essence, of identity, of whether a mortal heart could withstand the weight of angelic evolution. The light rose, and the world tilted. The celestial circle rose from the ground like a blooming flower of light. 12 rings, each one turning in a different direction, each etched with symbols that no mortal tongue could pronounce, concepts, not letters, laws, not words, the skeleton of reality carved into motion. As the rings tightened around Goku, the air thickened, until even Whis had to brace himself. Beerus staggered back, claws digging into the stone. What the? Whis, this pressure. This is worse than when your father looked at him. Whis nodded, voice strained. That's because this is not observation, it is definition. Weissel stood at the center, opposite Goku, staff raised, his expression calm but weighted. The silver light around him pulsed in slow, rhythmic tides, like a moon controlling an ocean that no mortal could see. Son Goku, he said softly, this protocol will not test your power. It will test whether your heart, mind, and identity can maintain integrity under divine resonance. Goku inhaled. His aura pulsed steadily around him, warm, golden, unwavering. I'm ready. Weissel closed his eyes. Begin. The first ring ignited. The world vanished. For Goku, there was no sky, no ground, no angels, no Weissel, only a vast white void that pulsed like a heartbeat. Then, the void whispered, What are you? The question wasn't sound, it was pressure, like someone pressing against his soul from all sides, trying to feel its shape. Goku answered with certainty, I'm Goku. The void tightened. No, that is a name. What are you? He thought. He breathed.
A Saiyan. The pressure eased, then sharpened. Saiyans destroy to grow. Is that what you are? Goku shook his head. No, that's what we were born to be. I try to protect people now. A faint ripple passed through the void. Approval. Curiosity. Then the second ring flared. A new force descended, and the void changed shape. This time, Goku stood on a battlefield. Not any battlefield. Every battlefield he had ever fought on. Namek's burning sky, the Tournament of Power's broken tiles, the scarred plains where Vegeta first arrived, the wasteland Cell tore apart, the quiet field where he died the first time. They overlapped like layered paintings, shifting each time he blinked. And from each battlefield, every opponent he had ever fought emerged simultaneously. Frieza, Cell, Buu, Jiren, Moro, Broly, Past, future, variance. Shadows of battles that never were. They all surrounded him, eyes burning with the intent to kill. Weisel's voice echoed through the unreal world. Instinct without emotion can survive this. Angelhood without will can endure this. But your path is neither. Show me what guides you. Goku dropped into stance, not ultra instinct, whose serenity moved like water, but something warmer, more grounded. Golden instinct shimmered around him, soft as sunrise. Frieza lunged first. Goku didn't strike him. He didn't dodge harshly. He redirected him gently but decisively, letting the blow dissolve into harmless air. Cell attacked next, then Broly, then Jiren. Each time, Goku responded without rage, without fear, with clarity, with intention, with compassion sharpened into precision. The illusions rewound, attacks intensified, worlds warped into each other like folding pages, but his center remained still, and the third ring activated. The world froze. All enemies vanished. Goku stood alone again. Then a whisper rose behind him, raw, young, familiar.
Dad? Goku spun around. Gohan stood there. Not the warrior, not the scholar, but the child he once held on his shoulders, eyes wide and soft. Behind him, another voice. Goku! Chi-Chi! Then more. Goten, Pan, Grandpa Gohan, even Bardock, his father, appeared at the edge of the light, half-formed like a memory trying to manifest. Goku's breath caught. This ring cut deeper than the others. Weisel's voice softened. Divine resonance is cold. It severs ties. It demands detachment. If your evolution cannot coexist with your heart, you will shatter. The figures approached him, reaching, calling, "Dad! Come home! Goku, please!" Goku's eyes trembled. His voice broke. I can't lose any of you." His aura faltered for the first time since the transformation began. The angels watching in the real realm gasped. "He's destabilizing! The mortals pulled on his core! He can't withstand that conflict!" "No, don't break here, Goku." But in the white void, Goku closed his eyes and breathed. Warmth rose in him, not a flare, a bloom. He whispered, "I don't have to choose." His aura reignited, golden, white, alive. He stepped forward, not into their arms, not away from them, but through them. Their forms dissolved into light that wrapped around his heart, not chaining it, integrating with it. I protect because I feel. I grow because I care. I fight because I'm connected. The void vibrated. The illusions vanished, but the warmth remained. The golden instinct ring behind him brightened. The fourth ring lit. Weasel exhaled, voice sharp with awe. He's stabilizing the impossible. The light swelled. The test deepened. Golden instinct was evolving again. And Goku stepped into the next trial, unbroken. The fourth ring ignited with a soundless pulse, not bright, not explosive, but heavy, as if a weight older than the concept of gravity pressed itself gently onto Goku's shoulders. The white void dimmed. Shapes emerged from the darkness, not enemies, not illusions, not memories, versions of him. A dozen silhouettes stepped out of the half-light, each carrying a different aura: blue, red, silver, primal, instinctive, divine, corrupted, perfected. Each one a possibility the multiverse could have taken. Another him, taller, sharper, wrapped in silver flames of perfected ultra instinct. Another, lean, fierce, eyes wild with the rage of a Saiyan who never learned peace. Another, calm and ancient, wielding divine ki as if born for godhood. And one, small, gentle, the farmhand who never trained again. They formed a circle around him. The whistle sounded deeper now, echoing through multiple dimensions at once. Identity fractures mortal ascension. Angelic evolution requires unity. Show me your truth. The echoes of Goku spoke. The silver-haired one stepped forward first. He said, voice cold as polished steel. You are incomplete. Detach, transcend, become instinct alone. The primal rage-fueled Goku snarled. No, emotion is strength. Destruction is survival. The divine Goku lifted his hand. Meaning is structure. Choose godhood. Lose the burden of mortality. The gentle farmhand Goku whispered softly, or choose peace. Walk away before you're swallowed by power. More voices rose. Become judgment. Become chaos. Become instinct. Become nothing. Become everything. 14 versions of him. 14 roads. 14 destinies. All demanding a choice. Goku closed his eyes. The air around him trembled. Golden instinct flickered unstable for a heartbeat. Whistle whispered, a mortal heart cannot carry fractured identity. Choose a path or shatter. The voices closed in. Silver instinct, detach. Primal Saiyan, embrace rage. Divine Goku, ascend. Human Goku, return home. The sphere of choices tightened, a cage of destinies waiting to swallow him whole. But Goku did something none of them expected. He smiled, a soft, gentle, utterly human smile. Then he stepped forward, not toward any of them, but into the empty center of the circle. His voice was quiet. I'm not choosing one of you. The versions froze. Goku continued, I'm all of you. A ripple shook the void. I'm the fighter who loves peace, the warrior who refuses to kill when he doesn't have to, the dad who worries, the Saiyan who pushes limits, the student who learns, the friend who forgives, and the soul that keeps getting back up. His aura burst outward, slow, warm, blooming like a sun rising beneath an ocean. Golden instinct roared quietly, a silent wind of light. I don't have to pick a single destiny. It placed a hand over his heart. This is my path. The silhouettes trembled. Silver instinct fractured first, dissolving into sparks of pale light. The primal Goku roared before melting into red-gold embers. The divine Goku held his gaze respectfully before fading like a candle. One by one, every version of him broke into soft motes and spiraled inward, merging with his aura. Not erased, integrated. Not chosen, understood. By the time the last version faded, the void was trembling with quiet awe. Wenzel whispered, integration of self, emotional anchoring, instinctual acceptance, mortal unity. The fourth ring dimmed.
The fifth ignited. A final test. But the void was silent. Nothing moved. Nothing took shape. Goku blinked.
What now? The Weisel's voice lowered. The final ring does not test you. It reveals the result. The light brightened, so bright the void seemed to peel away like old paint. Goku looked down. His aura was changing. The golden white light thickened, becoming denser, richer, as if steeped in celestial breath. His hair shimmered with deeper gold threading into the white, tiny sparks like angelic motes swirling through each strand. The halo behind him expanded again, petals unfurling into a radiant mandala of golden rings, each rotating slowly like cosmic gears. Whisk gasped in the real realm. His resonance, it's stabilizing beyond ultra instinct, beyond mortal instinct. Beerus whispered, "He's transcending." The high seraph fell to his knees again, overwhelmed. What is he becoming? Back in the void, the air crystallized around Goku. A soft pulse radiated from his chest, and for the first time, he felt something that wasn't power. He felt balance, warmth and clarity, emotion and instinct, mortality and divinity, all held in harmony. Then the voice returned, not Weisel's, but something older, something quiet, something proud. Golden Instinct Stage 2 has reached completion. Goku opened his eyes. The void shattered, the realm snapped back into existence, light exploded outward, and Goku stood at the center, glowing like a newborn star. Weisel lowered his staff slowly, awe soft.
What now? The Weisel's voice lowered. The final ring does not test you. It reveals the result. The light brightened, so bright the void seemed to peel away like old paint. Goku looked down. His aura was changing. The golden white light thickened, becoming denser, richer, as if steeped in celestial breath. His hair shimmered with deeper gold, threading into each strand, tiny sparks like angelic motes swirling through each strand. Whis gasped in the real realm. His resonance, it's stabilizing beyond ultra instinct, beyond mortal instinct. Beerus whispered, "He's transcending." The high seraph fell to his knees again, overwhelmed. What is he becoming? Back in the void, the air crystallized around Goku. A soft pulse radiated from his chest, and for the first time, he felt something that wasn't power. He felt balance, warmth and clarity, emotion and instinct, mortality and divinity, all held in harmony. Then the voice returned, not Weisel's, but something older, something quiet, something proud. Golden Instinct, Stage 2, has reached completion. Goku opened his eyes. The void shattered. The realm snapped back into existence. Light exploded outward, and Goku stood at the center glowing like a newborn star. Weisel lowered his staff slowly, awe softening his usually calm expression. Son Goku, you have passed the protocol. The celestial rings dissolved, the ground steadied. Goku breathed out. But Weisel's next words carried a warning that chilled even the angels. However, the evolution you stabilized has created a new law within you, one that the cosmos will not ignore.
Goku frowned. What does that mean? Vaisal looked up at the sky as new cracks began to form, not from chaos, not from void, from attention. Something, someone was watching. Your awakening has drawn the eyes of those who sleep beyond godhood. He looked back at Goku. Prepare yourself. The next being who approaches is not angelic. The sky split. Something stepped through, something ancient, something that once existed before the angels were conceived, and it was coming for Goku. The sky did not simply tear, it yielded, as if some ancient law, one older than angels, older than gods, older than the weaving of universes, recognized the presence pushing against it and stepped aside rather than resist. Light poured through the widening fracture, not white, not gold, a strange, shifting radiance that carried the colors of memory, shadow, and the first sparks of creation before creation learned what shape to take. Goku's breath tightened. This wasn't divine ki, nor mortal ki, nor void. It was origin. Vaisal stiffened, his normally serene face hollowed with something close to fear. Oh no, Father must have anticipated this, but even he cannot interfere. His staff trembled. Goku, prepare yourself. This entity is not bound to our hierarchy. It is not an angel, not a god, not a demon. Beerus hissed, backing away. A being above destruction. He clenched his fists. This is the first time in my existence I can't even sense an ego from something. Whis whispered, voice thin, a primal architect. The angels collapsed to one knee, wings folding, halos flickering uncontrollably as the pressure in the realm deepened like a gravity forged from memory itself. Goku stared upward. And then, something stepped through the rift. Not slowly, not dramatically. It simply appeared, as if distance was irrelevant to it. A shape vaguely humanoid, tall, graceful, eyes like dimmed stars, gray, ancient, unreadable. A body sculpted from shifting threads of origin energy, always forming and unforming, never committing to a single identity. No aura, no killing intent, just existence. Pure, unfiltered, terrifying. The being studied Goku with no emotion, no curiosity, no judgment, as if examining a ripple in water, not a person. Vaisal bowed his head. Primal architect of Cycle 0, why have you come? The being did not answer, not to Vaisal. Its gaze drifted only toward Goku. Space folded. Reality shuddered, and suddenly it stood one breath's distance away from him. Goku didn't step back. He felt fear. Not the fear of death, the fear of witnessing something that should not exist inside the boundaries of life. The being tilted its head. A voice, if it could be called that, slid into the world like a thought the universe had forgotten to think. You are the deviation. The angel shook. Beerus whispered. Deviation? From what, exactly?
The architect continued. The first mortal to catalyze celestial resonance without annihilation. A contradiction that should collapse the lane of becoming. Yet you persist. Goku swallowed. I'm just trying to protect everyone. The being didn't blink. Protection is a mortal concept. Goku frowned. Is that wrong? A ripple passed through the being's form, the closest thing it had to contemplation.
It is inefficient. The realm trembled at the word. Weasel's face went pale. He's calculating. Goku, the architect's evaluations rewrite natural law. If he deems your evolution inefficient, Beerus snarled, he'll erase him? No, Weasel whispered. He'll erase the possibility of him, retroactively. Goku's fists tightened, but not in anger. I won't let you erase who I am. The being studied him silently, then extended one hand. Not threateningly, more like a scientist offering a sample vial to a flame. Show me. Goku blinked. Show you what? Show me why you remain. The realm expanded. The floor fell away. The sky inverted. The angels, Beerus, Whis, Weisel, all vanished like dust blowing from a mirror. Only Goku and the architect remained. The architect lifted a hand. 3 floating spheres appeared around them, each swirling with its own light, its own history. Weisel's distant voice echoed into the collapsing world. The trial of being. Beerus's voice followed, distorted by distance. Goku, don't let him drag you into that. If you fail, you won't have ever existed. The architect spoke. First sphere, show me, why does a mortal heart choose to rise? The sphere brightened. Images flooded it. Gohan as a child, Grandpa Gohan, Chi-Chi, Krillin, Vegeta, even Frieza, even enemies, even universes. Goku looked into it and understood. The architect watched, unblinking.
Goku placed a hand against the sphere, because every time I rise, someone else gets to stand too. The sphere pulsed, acknowledged. The architect raised the second sphere. Show me. Why do you fight without detachment? The sphere swirled. Jiren's loneliness, Broly's pain, Moro's hunger, the angel's awakening, the Trace learning how to be alive. Goku touched the sphere. I don't fight to win. I fight to reach them. The sphere brightened. The architect raised the final sphere. Its light was dark, not evil, but deep, unknown, terrifying. Third sphere, show me. Why should your existence continue? The entire void froze. Golden instinct flickered behind Goku, the mandala halo rotating slowly like the wheel of dawn. He took one breath, then stepped toward the final sphere. His voice shook, but with conviction, not fear. Because I'm still learning. The sphere burst open, light swallowing the void entirely. The architect's unreadable eyes brightened by a fraction. Evolution, by humility. Goku exhaled. The architect extended its hand again. Your answer is sufficient to continue the trial. The void shattered. They returned to the realm, but now the sky pulsed with origin light. The final judgment was coming. The test that would determine if golden instinct could ascend or be erased. The architect raised its hand, and the air around Goku thickened until his knees nearly buckled. Next, survival of the celestial heart. The pressure deepened. Goku's aura cracked. The architect whispered, "Show me your final form." And something inside Goku began to awaken for real. The world leaned inward, not just the realm, not just the space around Goku, but reality itself, bending as if pulled toward a point of impossible gravity. The architect's hand hovered in the air, palm open, fingers slightly curved as if inviting something ancient to wake from inside Goku's chest. Weissel staggered back, clutching his staff. No, he's invoking celestial extraction. The architect is trying to pull out the core of Goku's evolution. Whis paled. That technique. Even angels cannot endure it. It drags the inner truth from a being until only essence remains. Beerus hissed, voice shaking despite himself. And if the essence fails? Weissel answered with hollow dread. Then the being collapses forever.
The sky warped above them, folding into spirals of light and dark, as if the universe itself braced for something it had never witnessed. Goku's aura flickered violently. The mandala-like halo behind him distorted, petals bending inward, compressing, shrinking as if something heavy pressed down upon it. Golden instinct pulsed inside him, but its warmth was no longer gentle. It was desperate, strained, alive. The architect stepped closer. There was still no malice in its movements, no emotion. It was simply fulfilling a function older than purpose. To ascend is to survive truth. Its hand closed slightly. Goku felt something tear. Not flesh, not bone, but something deeper. His breath caught. His knees buckled. His vision blurred. It felt as if someone had reached into his soul and gripped the part of him that believed in himself. The architect whispered, voice like an ancient tide brushing against the foundations of existence. Show me. The heart you claim is celestial. Golden instinct spasmed, sparks scattering from Goku's body like shards of dawn breaking apart. He clenched his teeth. It's not celestial. The architect paused, a faint tilt of the head, the closest thing it had to curiosity. Goku forced himself upright, breath shaking. It's human. The architect tightened his hand. A shockwave tore through him, silent, internal, devastating. His aura snapped like a rope stretched past its limit. His halo dimmed, his vision thinned. Goku fell to one knee. Whis cried out, "No! Goku, hold on! Don't let him strip the resonance away!" Beerus shouted, voice breaking, "Get up, you fool! Don't let a walking paradox erase you!" But the architect was unmoved. If it is human, it cannot withstand divine resonance. It pulled again. Goku's vision darkened, his breath shortening, his pulse weakening. For a moment, he couldn't see anything. No sky, no angels, no architect, no light. Only darkness, silent, cold, endless.
And in that darkness, a memory flickered. A hand on his shoulder, Grandpa Gohan's voice, gentle and warm. Strength is not something you force, it's something you return to. Another memory glowed beside it. Chi-Chi, frustrated but loving. Don't forget who you are, Goku. Not the fighter, the man. Then Krillin's laughter, then Gohan's tears, Vegeta's pride, Goten's smile, Pan's tiny fists. Then, everyone. Every life he'd protected, every life he'd saved, every enemy he'd spared, every friend he'd lifted. A sun of warmth flickered inside the dark. Goku whispered, breath trembling, I don't need celestial power to protect what matters. The architect's grip tightened once more, and something snapped. Not the breaking of Goku's form, the breaking of a limit. Golden instinct erupted from inside him, not outward, but inward, flowing like molten light through every part of his essence, fusing memory and instinct, emotion and clarity, human and transcendent. His halo flared, not collapsing, expanding. The petals unfolded again, wider than before, spinning with purpose. Lines of gold etched themselves along Goku's cheeks like faint celestial markings. His hair lengthened slightly, threads of pure white blazing with deeper, richer gold. The architect froze. It tightened its invisible pull, but the new resonance did not tear. It held. Goku rose slowly, light dripping from him like liquid dawn. His voice was quiet, steady, unshakably rooted. My heart doesn't break under pressure. Golden instinct pulsed, growing brighter, deeper, more stable. It grows. The architect stepped back half a pace. A small ripple passed through its form. Shock. Not human shock. Not divine shock. Existential shock. A fundamental recognition that something had defied its classification. Weissel whispered, voice breaking into awe. No, he isn't collapsing. Whis gasped, clutching his chest. He's harmonizing with the extraction. Beerus stared speechless. Goku lifted his head. Golden instinct roared silently behind him. The petals widening, interlocking, becoming a wheel of gold-white flame. His aura rose upward like a pillar of living sunrise. The architect lowered his hand. Impossible. A mortal heart has achieved divine stability under extraction. Goku exhaled. The light softened around him, warm, living, human. He met the architect's gaze. I told you. A gentle smile.
I'm still learning. The realm trembled, because the mandala behind him had begun to change shape again. Golden instinct wasn't finished. Not yet. Not even close. The architect extended a hand, not in aggression, in acknowledgement. Then show me the final resonance. The air cracked. The sky brightened. Reality tensed. Golden Instinct 3 was beginning to awaken. The sky could not hold what was coming. Light cracked through it like golden veins, spreading across the heavens in trembling arcs. Angels shielded their eyes. The realm shook as if remembering earthquakes from a creation era long erased. Even Weissel, second-born, keeper of origin, stepped back as the growing resonance behind Goku began to change the temperature of existence itself. This was no longer ki, no longer instinct, no longer divinity. It was becoming. The architect hovered above the ground, observing the shift inside Goku as an astronomer might study the birth of a star that shouldn't exist. Your resonance accelerates. Such growth exceeds the rules that bind mortal identity. Beerus hissed through clenched teeth. No, he's not exceeding anything. He's rewriting it. Whis's voice trembled. Beerus-sama, even Father couldn't do what Goku is doing now. Not because he is weaker, but because his nature forbids it. Light poured off Goku in waves, soft at the edges, fierce at the center. His breath fogged the air with each exhale, but not from cold, from density. The ki in him had become so concentrated that even the space around his body vibrated like a struck string. Goku flexed his fingers slowly, watching golden white flame flow between them like strands of living silk. I can feel it, he whispered. It's like something inside me is waking up, something that was waiting. The architect's form shifted, subtle but meaningful. It was no longer examining him as a deviation. It was examining him as a threshold. Then we proceed. The air shattered. Gravity inverted. Time stuttered. The realm flipped like a page of a cosmic book forced into a new chapter. Goku and the architect vanished, not through teleportation, not through rifts, but because it was necessary. Reality simply moved them to where the final trial had to occur. Whis, Weissel, Beerus, the angels, they found themselves standing on a floating disk of fractured space, unable to interfere, unable to approach. Weissel whispered with dread. He has entered the architect's inner field, the place where beings face their final resonance. Whis swallowed. If he fails, he won't die. Beerus growled. Then what? Weissel closed his eyes. He will unbecome. The architect's inner field. Goku found himself standing on nothing and everything. A galaxy formed beneath his feet, swirling like a living mandala of gold and white.
Stars ignited and died in slow motion. Nebulas pulsed with unborn light. The cosmos itself moved like breath. The architect stood across from him, shape flickering. This field responds to potential. Show me your final height. Goku clenched his fists. Golden instinct surrounded him in a perfect sphere. Calm, warm, balanced. I don't know what my final height is, he said honestly. The words echoed like truth across a canyon. I'll give everything I have. The architect raised both hands. Space folded inward. Goku felt it instantly. Not pressure, not gravity, but definition.
The architect was rewriting the rules around him, testing whether golden instinct could withstand classification, because if it couldn't, it would break. The light bent, the stars dimmed, the galaxy beneath him froze. The architect spoke. First phase, dissolve the self. The world vanished. Goku felt his body break into light, his sense of shape, sense of weight, sense of identity, all unraveling into strands of ki. It was dissolving him, not killing, not erasing, reducing him to pure potential. He whispered through the light, "No, not like this, I'm not done." But the architect pushed harder. If your form is the source of your strength, you cannot ascend. Goku's aura flickered violently, collapsing, stretching, coming apart. He felt memories separating like threads in a tearing rope. Grandpa Gohan, Chi-Chi, Gohan, Goten, Vegeta, Whis, Beerus. Their voices blurred, their faces thinned into light. He felt himself fading until a single thought glowed inside the collapse. A thought simple enough to anchor a universe. I want to protect them. The unraveling stopped. The architect tilted its head. Your anchor is not instinct. The unraveling reversed. Not divinity. The golden threads reformed. Not power. Goku's shape returned. The mandala halo flared back to life. It is connection. Goku rose, aura burning richer than before. The architect lifted a hand. Second phase, detachment test. The galaxy inverted. Gravity reversed. Time looped. Memory fractured. Pain surged through Goku's mind. Not physical pain, emotional. Images of everyone he cared for flashed. Vegeta falling in battle. Gohan fading into dust. Chi-Chi calling his name. Goten reaching for him, terrified. No, stop, stop. The architect whispered, if emotion breaks your evolution, you cannot hold celestial resonance. Every memory turned to agony. Goku clenched his fists until they bled golden light. Tears burned his eyes. He whispered. He pressed a hand to his heart. That's where my strength comes from. The illusions shattered. The agony receded. Goku stood taller, breathing hard, but unbroken. Golden instinct glowed deeper than ever. The architect's form flickered violently, as if struggling to compute what it was seeing. Third phase, the voice dimmed. Ascension. Light erupted. The galaxy opened like a flower of stars. Goku's halo expanded, rings multiplying, interlocking, forming a radiant wheel. His hair brightened, white catching fire with molten gold. His eyes blazed with angelic yellow. His aura spiraled into a vortex of celestial flames. The architect whispered, Golden Instinct Stage 3 is emerging. And then, show me if it deserves to exist. Everything exploded into light. Light did not simply bloom, it ascended. It rose in layered waves, each one ringing like a cosmic bell struck by divine intention. Goku hovered in the center of it all, suspended between breath and destiny, while the architect observed with an unreadable stillness. The inner field trembled under the resonance taking shape. Stars spiraled faster, nebulae convulsed. The golden galaxy beneath Goku's feet bent like molten glass under impossible heat. Weissel watched from the distant observation plane, breath short. This is no longer mere ascension. He's imprinting upon the architect's field, rewriting a domain no mortal should even perceive. Whis' staff vibrated uncontrollably. Beerus-sama, this might actually work. But if Goku missteps even once? Beerus didn't answer. He couldn't. He was watching a mortal do something that made even the destroyer god feel small. Goku could feel something inside him shifting, not rising, not expanding, but aligning. Golden instinct was no longer flaring violently. It was breathing, steady, purposeful, alive. His aura curved gently around him like a living orbit, spiraling slow and controlled. The halo behind him, once a simple mandala, had transformed. It now had 3 concentric rings, slowly rotating in opposite directions. Each ring carried threads of white gold light, fading into the next, like the gears of a cosmic clock. The architect's voice entered the space again. Your resonance approaches stability, but a form is only truth when tested by itself. Goku inhaled slowly. I know. He opened his palms. Golden fire licked up his arms, gentle like sunlight on water. His hair burned brighter, each strand a white flame tipped in molten gold. The markings on his face glowed softly, following the rhythm of his heartbeat. His eyes, they were no longer just golden. They were luminescent, angelic, a fire that saw beyond sight. The architect's form shifted as if adjusting to something that, by its design, should not exist. Final phase begins. Space shattered around them, not breaking outward, but folding inward, compressing into a single line of origin. The architect raised its hands. The line erupted. A torrent of raw creation energy surged forward, not ki, not destruction, something older, purer, unrestrained.
Whis gasped. The architect is using pure origin force. If Goku cannot stabilize Golden Instinct 3 before impact, his form will collapse and take his existence with it. Beerus clenched his fists. Come on, fool! Show him! The origin force hit first. A wave of white nothingness, devouring everything it touched. Goku braced his stance, a golden outline flickering around him. The force collided with him, and the realm erupted. Galaxy split in half, light bent into spirals. Gravity condensed into spears of cosmic pressure that hammered against his body. But Goku didn't fly back. He didn't break. He didn't scream. He held. His aura sparked, then flowed, then stabilized. His voice gritted through the pressure, breath burning. I'm not fighting this energy. The halo flared, rings aligning for a single heartbeat. I'm listening to it. The architect paused. Goku stepped forward against the impossible force. 1 step. 2. 3. The golden rings rotated in harmony, and the origin force bent slightly away from him, used rather than resisted. Whis nearly dropped his staff. He's not blocking it. He's harmonizing with it. He's treating pure creation force as rhythm. Weissel whispered, stunned. That is beyond ultra instinct, beyond angelic resonance. That is a fusion of instinct, emotion, and evolution. Beerus exhaled slowly. A mortal
who grows from pressure instead of shattering under it. Goku reached the heart of the storm, palm glowing gently. The origin force should have annihilated him. Instead, he pressed his hand into it, and it listened. The light bent inward, swirling around his hand, then merging into his aura. Golden instinct surged, but not wildly. It rose like a sunrise, slow, inevitable, majestic. His halo locked into perfect alignment. The three rings glowed brighter, and then fused into one. A single radiant wheel of gold and white fire spun behind him, illuminating the entire field. Goku exhaled softly. The architect's voice lost its neutrality for the first time. This form was not predicted. Goku looked up. His aura stabilized into a calm, luminous flame, not roaring outward, but floating gently around him like feathers of light. His voice was quiet, human, steady.
The architect's form flickered, not in distress, but in genuine recalibration. Golden Instinct Stage 3 achieved. Define your existence. Goku opened his eyes again, those brilliant, angelic golden eyes, and the field trembled. The final step was coming. Golden Instinct 3 was here, but its purpose had yet to be declared. Silence settled over the architect's field, a silence not born of peace, but of anticipation. A single breath seemed to stretch across galaxies. Even the stars suspended in the swirling mandala beneath Goku's feet dimmed their flicker, as if to wait to witness a moment creation itself had not earned the right to forget. The architect stood motionless, not frozen, not hesitant, attentive, listening to the resonance rising within the mortal standing before it. Golden Instinct Stage 3 had awakened, not in explosion, not in fury, but in alignment. Goku hovered in the center of it, surrounded by a calm, flowing aura of white gold flame. The wheel, his unified halo, rotated at a steady, gentle pace behind him. Each turn chimed softly through the field, like distant bells ringing in the heart of space. Whis whispered from the distant observation plane. He's reached it, not through rage, not through perfection, but through balance. Weissel trembled. Golden Instinct 3, a form harmonized with origin, instinct, emotion, and purpose. Beerus didn't speak. For once, the destroyer god could only watch. The architect floated closer. Its voice, usually mechanical, ancient, impersonal, held the faintest echo of something new. You stand at an apex without precedent. Now define the shape of your existence. Goku blinked slowly. His golden eyes glowed softly, not with intensity, but with clarity. My existence? The architect raised his hand. The field responded instantly, motifs of light and shadow bending into mirrored possibilities. Mortal, divine, weapon, concept, contradiction, catalyst. Choose. Goku frowned slightly. Choose what I want to be? Correct. The architect's voice wavered, its form pulsing. Power without identity collapses. Identity without choice stagnates. Only beings who choose can ascend beyond their nature. Goku lowered his gaze, thinking. The galaxy beneath him shifted to match his contemplation. Stars dimming, nebula swirling, time fracturing into possibilities. A version of him fighting endlessly. A version of him retreating into peace.
A version of him as a god, a version of him as a memory. All of them shimmered around him, but none felt right. Goku spoke softly, almost to himself. I don't want to be a god. Weissel gasped. Whiss's breath caught. Even Beerus flinched. The architect tilted its head. Refusal of ascendant identity is rare. Goku continued, voice steady.
I don't want to be a weapon either, or a symbol, or some idea. He looked at his hands, golden white flame drifting between his fingers. I just want to keep growing. I want to protect people. I want to help others grow too. If there's a path where everyone gets stronger, where everyone finds their own light, I want that path. The architect's form flickered violently, not in denial, but in computation. Your choice is not a category. Goku's aura pulsed gently. Then make it one. The field shook. Light crackled. The mandala beneath him expanded into a supernova, stretching across the entire horizon. The architect's neutrality shattered for the first time in all its existence. A self-defined existence. A mortal shaping his own ontological class. Such beings are not predicted. Goku smiled faintly. Guess I've always been bad at doing what's predicted. Whis whispered with awe. He's not ascending into a role. He's creating one. Weissel's hands shook. He will be a new category of being. Beerus finally exhaled, voice low. Damn you, Goku. You really never stop. The architect extended one hand. Then let the cosmos record your nature. A sphere of origin force formed between its palms, the pure script of creation, the memory of reality, the code that defined existence itself. It rotated slowly, pulsing with infinite possibilities.
State your identity so the universe may shape space around it. Goku stepped forward. His aura flared, not violently, but with quiet conviction. Golden Instinct 3 glowed like a rising sun behind him. He placed his hand over his heart. My name is Son Goku. Light rippled outward, and I am a mortal who keeps rising. The sphere vibrated, lines of origin text scrambling, rewriting, expanding. I don't exist to dominate. I don't exist to transcend others. I exist to grow and help others grow. Energy blazed around him. And if there's a strength beyond gods, beyond angels, beyond instinct, he closed his eyes. I'll reach it as myself. The origin sphere cracked, then enveloped him in light. A new classification etched itself across the architect's field. Not God, not mortal, not anomaly. The ever-ascending one. The architect bowed its head. For the first time in its eternal existence, recognition complete. The field shattered like glass. The resonance of Golden Instinct 3 rang through all creation. The stars burned quietly, as if remembering his will.